10 seconds.
Now comes the part where we throw our heads back and laugh. Ready?
Ready!
How dare you!
Welcome to Nevermind the Furthermore, your morning dose of creative conversation and coffee with your host, Brian K. Morris, independent publisher, freelance hybrid author, award-winning playwright, Facebook famous YouTuber, and former mortician's assistant. Get ready to start your day off right.
And good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Monday. Oh my goodness, it's July 12th, 2021 already. How the heck are you? How the heck was your weekend? I'm Brian K. Morris, your erstwhile host for this extravaganza. And I want to start out by thanking Carl Witzman for taking the Friday slot. I watched it over the weekend. You did a super job, Carl. Real darn proud of you. You can do that more often as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, we had a long weekend, but it was a great one. We were at the Imaginarium. And I do want to thank Steven Zimmer, Holly Philippe, and everyone on the staff there for treating me like visiting royalty and putting on such a great show. Had a super time. Got to hang out with some of my favorite people, but we'll be talking about that more in a minute. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone watching, whether you're watching live or on the rerun. We appreciate you all. And also don't forget, if you are watching on Facebook, please be sure to like this video because it helps us with the algorithms. It makes me happy as well. Excuse me. But also, please like the page you're watching it on, whether it's the Rising Tide Broadcast Network page or the Rising Tide Publications page or Kathy Jackson's books, especially Kathy Jackson's books. Love you and Matt. Had a great time with you guys this weekend. So please also like the page you're on as a thank you to your host. Also, if you're watching us on YouTube, please give us a thumbs up if you enjoy any part of the show, and be sure to share these videos with your friends. Please subscribe if you're on YouTube. Boy, we're giving you a lot to do on a Monday, aren't we? Anyway, we also want to thank our ongoing sponsor, who we appreciate so very much, the man Jeffrey Hayes, who designed and executed this beautiful cover, Snow Ambition, my latest book on Amazon. You want to check it out if you like short read crime fiction. We do it up for you. But anyway, he is, I refer to him in the multiple because he's got so many great talents. Jeffrey Hayes, he is Plasma Fire Graphics. Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you. When you're looking for a great book for your cover for your book, rather a wraparound cover or front for your comic book, or graphics to promote your work, or a beautiful book trailer like you just saw, check out Jeffrey Hayes at Plasma Fire Graphics. Check out his Facebook page. Also, check his website out at plasmafiregraphics.com. Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you. Also want to thank for their backing the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. Check it out. Please take a screenshot of this. And don't forget, this coming Wednesday, we are going to start having Wednesday shows, beginning with the Truth Mongers. Ted Davies and Glenn B. Fleming are going to be getting together to produce a wonderful show on conspiracy theories and all kinds of things like that. So if you're into chemtrails, UFOs, alternate realities, any of that sort of thing, this is going to be the show for you. It's going to be some intelligent conversation. I'm really looking forward to it, and we're going to have a little bit of a wingding beforehand before we launch the show, and we hope you enjoy that. But please check it out. We've got your entertainment and information covered 7 days a week. And last night's Comics, Chaos, and Sass with Heather Ellen was amazing, as always. And so was Stupid O'Clock. Yeah, Stupid O'Clock. I'm looking right at it. How could I miss it? Over the weekend and Last Man Standing. We got to get that on the schedule. Anyway, thank you to everyone else at the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. So please check out what we're doing. We're doing some really good content here. I'm really proud of these guys and gals. And also I'm proud of everyone who supports us on Patreon. Patreon is a monthly subscription service where you can directly support your favorite creators. And many of these people here have their own Patreons, so please check them out as well. And when you are one of my patrons, you get stuff for it. It's not just a one-way street here. I show my love back at you. So please check out what we're offering at www.patreon.com/Brian K. Morris, all one word, all lowercase. And we've got all kinds of, let's see, I think that's all the thank yous I've got. And like I said, yeah, we went to the Imaginarium, had a wonderful, wonderful time. This was our first big book convention of the year, and it was spectacular. The rain and the weather could have been a little more helpful to us, but it was a weekend of great panels and great fun with everyone. And and there's just so many people to thank for being there, and getting to go out and hang with some of our favorite people. So thank you to everyone, and particular thank you to and you're probably wondering, is the bromance still on? Oh, hells to the yeah, it's on. In fact, tomorrow night on Clever Tile Betting, we're still going to have Brian Rodman on. We did not get sick of each other. In fact, if anything, we're more of an item than ever. No, we had a great time, and Robyn, his wife, is an absolute delight. I totally adore her. And looking at Robyn and Brian together, I'm like, okay, this is why people understand Cookie and me. You just see that it's magic. Didn't pick up any books, like some reading books this time, but I did get some stuff. I got this wonderful book called it's a Western comics anthology called Sagebrush and Tumbleweeds, and it is it's got work in here by my bro Brian Rodman. And I couldn't pass that up, nor could I pass up Memoirs of an Angel. I got the trade, and it is just as beautiful with a gluey spine on it as it is in the original floppies, which, by the way, I picked up a full set of the floppies too, because I already have the ebooks. Now I have them all. I'm a total collector for Brian. Anyway, and my name's in this one, so how could I say no to that? So anyway, we got that, and then I came home. I came back to my domicile very, very late through a torrential rain, I will add. And I'm tempted to review this if I can get it read. As you know, a couple months ago we had Dan Doherty and Seth DeMoose on promoting this, and I went ahead and backed it, and so I got Floppy Cop books 1 and 2 reprinting their great comic books here. I'm really looking forward to getting into these. I'm just brushing through here, and it's like, dang, it's good. I'm liking it. Plus, I got a nice little note leading me to their to other stuff they do, which is exciting. And then I got a pretzel face bookmark, as well as some postcards. So, and a sticker. Oh, and also from Brian, I got like a full set of his bookmarks too. So I can read his comic books and not lose my place. So this is all very utilitarian here. So anyway, it was a terrific weekend, and got to be on some panels. And my lady from the nightstand, much love. It was so much fun. Got to talk to Daniel Dark, who has fled the environs of Facebook, and I totally understand. But we got a tour of his. It's an old trolley car that he has revamped. It kind of looks like James West's railroad car. It is absolutely gorgeous. He has put many, many long, loving hours into it, and I can tell. Oh, but that was my weekend, and if anyone has any questions about it, I welcome it. And again, thank you to Carl Witzman for his amazing job. Oh, and Carleen, I cannot forget Donna. Donna, you and Carl did a super job on this show. I was very, very, I'm just sitting there going, you guys are so much better at this than I am. Anyway, Joe Dog McKeel starts off the festivities at 9:31 this morning on YouTube saying, where is everyone? And that dislike was before 9:30. Yeah, somebody's going out of their way to put that dislike on. And if it makes you feel better, if it gets you a little extra stroke in the morning, then just go ahead and do it. I don't care. If it's at your little protest, if you don't like the fact that the only thing worse than your comics are the fact that you're a miserable human being, I have discovered, and you turn everything to crap that you touch. I mean, not that I'm naming anyone. Or you don't like my, or if it's someone else who doesn't like my anti-vax thing, y'all knock yourself out. Meanwhile, I'm preparing cups and cups of coffee and basking in the glow of the people that matter to me. Anyway, Donna Carly says, wasn't me, Joe Dog. I knew it wasn't you. And good morning, folks from Joe Bachman. Joe, glad to see you here. Hope you had a great weekend. Carl Witzman, the man of the 2 hours on Friday. Thank you for being here, my friend. I appreciate what you and Donna did. It meant a lot to me, and you guys were amazing. And everyone saying hello to each other. And good morning from Teresa Dunn. Mwah! Good morning, Brian, and for the Nevermorians. Have a great work week. Hey, you have a great week yourself. Looks like for a couple days we're going to get less than horrible weather here in Lafayette. Hope Keokuk is the same. And we have to go to a real life thing on Thursday. My adopted daughter is having a poetry reading. Oh, please send us your good thoughts that we will live through it. Carl, do you want to promote that? Do you want to put it on here, please? Anyway, Donna says, sorry, forgot to greet everyone. Hi, everyone. Hi, Donna. And Carl Wisman says, I should promote 10 Glenn's Truthmongers coming up on the 14th at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. And the Cigar Show the following morning at 10 o'clock. Most excellent. And there's my darling Kathy Jackson. Happy Monday morning, you happy Monday, you crazy kids. Well, mwah. Hey, I forgot to ask how that restaurant was on Saturday night. We got to go to dinner together on Friday night at Mama's up on Hurstbourne, and that was OMG, that was good. And we were looking at that dessert of yours with open envy. And if we had a scintilla of room, I ate shamefully this weekend. I really did. I normally am a lot more in control of my intake, but not last weekend. The food was that good in Louisville. So that's one thing when you go with authors, expect to most of I know don't really hit the bars that much. At least my group doesn't. But we do hit the restaurants, and we tend to laugh too loud, and that's it. Anyway, Skunk Rocker, good to see you this morning. Morning, everyone, evermore, and today's weird random factoid is brought to you by Monday, sucking the life force out of all of us and reducing our bodies to mere soulless husks fit only to be miserable. Be sure to get yours today, kids. All right, ask your mom. And Carl Westwood, poor Skunk, is obviously back at work today. Yeah. Good Lord, Holmes, how do you do it? Yeah, Skunk, you got to get out of there. You seriously have to get out of there. Speaking as someone who was at a soul-crushing job before he followed his muse, it ain't worth it. The paycheck ain't worth it. And it seems like you were having about as good a Monday as I am. Joe Bachman, sorry to hear that, guys. And Skycracker says, thanks to a currently on hiatus comic series, we know most of the characters in Team Fortress 2 have first names. For example, the engineer's first name is Dell, Scout's is Jeremy, and the heavy is Misha. Of course, characters with such mysterious backstories as the Pyro and the Spy will probably never have their names revealed. I really hope this comic comes back one day because it's really good. Well, the thing is, it will be sales that determine that, Skunk. For instance, DC put out along with Mirage, put out a 6-issue Batman and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles miniseries about 2 years ago. And since they've had 2 sequels, all of whom have been really quite good. And I heartily recommend them. I kind of read them because I'm like, ugh. Because I've seen some of my other licensed properties that I like Masters of the Universe, have not gotten a lot of proper treatment, in my opinion. But this was like, OMG, this is really good. It it takes all the stuff that works about Batman, it takes all the stuff that works about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and blends them together in some really, really good stories. So make sure whoever you're getting your comics from, make sure they know that you really enjoy it, and that some of them, if you ask real nice, might be able to. Anytime there is a new series, they'll put you down for it. So always talk to your comic monger. And there he is, Ted Davies Artistry. Good morning, all. Good morning to you, Ted. And tune in Tuesday for TED Talks this weekend, Ted. This week, Ted. That's from This Week, Ted. Thank you very much, Ted. Have you had enough coffee today, sir? Please save some for yourself. No, Ted does some amazing broadcasting on the Rising Tide Broadcast Network and his own YouTube channel, to which you should subscribe. He does TED Talks on Tuesday mornings at 10. And then on Thursdays, he does TED Talks Timepieces, where he shows off his collection of wristwear, which is always, when he proposed that, I thought, what the hell? Do it, man. And then I've been watching, and it's like, this is pretty cool stuff. This is awesome. And then also on Friday, he and his wife, Chrissy, put together a great show called Drinking with the Davies at 6 p.m. on Fridays. That's Eastern time. No other time matters to me. And it's entertaining as hell. And you learn a lot of stuff about adult beverages that I never knew before. So I'm always up for learning stuff. So, and also this Thursday, we're having the cigar show. Dear God in heaven. It's a festival of TED. And I welcome this. I think this is great. And Joe Bachman wondered why the job site smelled of fertilizer today. Just saw a farmer spraying his field. Oh, yeah. When I worked at the water company, we were very close to the University of Illinois dairy farms. And apparently a lot of their chronic occupants didn't know how to come in and out of the rain, literally. Cows are not the smartest animal on this planet. But there was this smell of wet, cheap leather every now and then when we got a good enough rainstorm. And it, are we going to go outside and eat lunch today? No, hell no, we are not. So anyway, Scott Crocker continues. In other news, the sorting team didn't show up to work this morning at all. None of them did. So we, and I mean everybody, are 2.5 hours behind because sarcastic, yay, everything sucks, dude. Get out of there. There's got to be something else. I'm serious. Please start looking. Go to Indeed.com and check out what they do there. I'm sure you're probably keeping your eye open for another job. But there's this old joke I learned years ago about a hound. I've said on the show several times about the hound dog that's sitting on the nail, but he won't get up yet because it's not bothering him enough. I think you're sufficiently bothered, dude. Now, of course, work sucks everywhere. Like my current job as a self-publisher, my boss is an idiot, but we persevere. No, actually, my boss is terrific. She's downstairs drinking her coffee. But anyway, dude, you're a creative individual. I want you to be able to follow your muse. I want everyone to. And after a weekend like Imaginarium, where you are surrounded by creative people and I yesterday on a panel on mental health and writers, I sat next to a guy who's been at it for 40 years, selling. And this weekend, I am going to be talking to somebody that has sold a lot of stuff to the Dragonlance series. And you're talking to them like peers. This is good stuff. And that's been my experience. It's funny. It's some of the lower mid-range authors, as I would call them. If you think of Stephen King and Rowling and Patterson at the top, Cussler and people like that, and then you get down to like somebody who is just starting. It's the mid-range, published by traditionally authors. Only a couple of them I found a little snotty. And rather full of themselves, but I don't see that in the independents hardly at all. And even the ones who've been around forever, like I got to talk to Dr. David Brin briefly on Legend of the Traveling TARDIS every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Eastern. on the Hanging with Web Show Network, and he was just as charming and delightful and as encouraging as could be. So it's like you can tell who the good ones are. Anyway, Ted Davis Artistry discusses treasure hunting for antique books at garage sales and flea markets. That ought to be fun. Don't reveal all our secrets because there's stuff I want to buy. And Sarah, morning to you, darling. Mwah, love the out of you, and hope you're having a great day, honey. Hope everything's going well for you. We'll talk later. And Mike Jimmy Lotion de Bruin, what's up, lovelies? My brother, how are you, my friend? How are you? And also check out Clever Title Pending last Tuesday when Mike Jimmy and I had a terrific conversation. And I believe Life with Cora is it's crossed the finish line, hasn't it? Or it's on its way to doing so. Anyway, check out Life on Cora, number 4. On Indiegogo. Check out his store there because he's awesome. And Ace Bonnie, good morning. Do you have your duck pillow? My duck pillow is downstairs. Ace, thank you for being here. It was an exhausting weekend. A number of us writers who are socially awkward and empathic, and we don't get out in public often. Weekends like the Imaginarium, as wonderful as they are, and so many wonderful memories I'll take forever, it's exhausting. It's exhausting having to, oh my God, honey, don't tell me I've got to put on pants. They'll understand. I've seen people that aren't wearing pants, Brian, they're girls, they're wearing dresses. Oh, I don't care. Anyway, it's draining, even though you're having the time of your life. And we got home last night just shortly before 10 o'clock, had to drive, and Cookie drove most of the way up to just north of Indianapolis. Then I took over for the small leg of the trip. And once I got behind the wheel, the torrential rains began. It's like they were waiting for me. And so we had to drive a little slowly. And by the time I got home, we pulled in, we made 2 trips to pull in stuff from the van. We've still got to unload the van from the weekend. And then we're going to load it up again because we're going to be at, let me get my notes. We are going to be at Heroes for Kids Con this coming weekend. It is going to be a fantastic time. That's going to be at 800 City Park Drive in Perryville, Missouri. I'm going to mark my place with one of the mini pens I got this weekend. Oh my God, it was pen bonanza. The only place that didn't have a pen was my hotel room, oddly enough. Now these are the pens I brought with me for signing. And then we got one of these lovely little things from the Digital Reader, Building Author Futures one website at a time. We'll give them since we took their pen, we'll give them a shout out here. But anyway, let me mark my place there. But this weekend, we're going to have Philo Barnhart, Matthew Ashley, artist and actor, and myself, and plus a whole lot of Nevermorians like Kathy Jackson, Matthew Jackson, Amy Hale, and Michaela Jade, and we are going to have a party. Don't know whether I'll be there Friday night or going to come in hot on Saturday morning, but it's going to be fun. But yeah, I should have brought my duck up here, but the duck is sleeping in. Oh, it's tough to be union, but we had a rough. It was fairly pleasant up until about the last hour, but we made it safely, I'm glad to say, and the duck is sleeping in this morning. We will have the duck later this week, I promise you, Ace. And Grant Lankard, hey-o, how are you this morning? Or getting my Ed McMahon on, hey-o. Anyway, Carl Witzman, hey everyone, and good morning to Cindy Cat. Mwah. A cooking fiend today. Oh, she's making her meals, and that sounds exciting. Cindy, good morning to you. Hope you're having a good morning so far, hon. And how close was I? All right. Life on Cora number 4 is now in demand on Indiegogo. Thank you, Mike Jimmy Lorsha de Bruin. We closed up the campaign with 39 backers and 24 euros on the counter. Will be in demand for a while still, but we'll start fulfillment in only a month. So check it out. Check out that book. It is beautiful. It seriously is. And also check out the interview that our conversation last Tuesday on Clever Title Pending. We did good. And Mike Jimmy was such a joy to talk to. We are going to have him back, I promise. And Ted Davis Artistry says the Truthmongers are premiering this Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Pre-launch party starts at 6 p.m. Stay tuned for links. And it could be that a certain Fez-wearing fiend may be among them. And we've got a comment dump there. And thank you very much to everyone for your patience. And yeah, Brian, where is the new Rising Tide card? Yeah, good question, Carl. And everyone's saying hello to each other. And Sarah says, I'm glad you were able to people in the flesh this weekend. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And this is, I think, about the fourth or fifth event I've been to this year. And many people, this was their first, like Brian Rodman's. This was his first in well over a year. And poor Brian had an asthma attack on Sunday morning. And none of us from Comic Book Spectrum, Thursday nights at 7 p.m., had any money on that time. So anyway, but no, we had Sarah, we had a glorious time. You know, if I get some shows in your area, I probably need a booth babe, Sarah. So just saying. Eric Hawkins, good morning, all. Good morning to you, Eric. I'm so glad you're here. Hope you had a great weekend, brother. And something we are talking about, if you're a fan of Comic Book Spectrum, we are the four of us are planning a special edition to happen at a convention. We're still working out the logistics. But there is very likely to be a convention this year where the four of us are going to get together in the flesh. As of this taping, I am the only member of the four of us who has met everyone else in person. Now I think Eric and Clyde have met each other, but only Brian and I have met each other in person. So now we got to get Brian to give the man love to the other two, have kind of a three-way of broheimness, which I'm picturing right now, and I think I can make an erotica book out of that. Anyway, from the desk of the Small Press Publisher, morning, Brian. Glad to see you back safe. Thank you, Joe. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, man. And I've got one of my tasks, and a happy task it is, will be to go back and watch Saturday nights from the desk of the Small Press Publisher every Saturday night at 10 p.m. for some great conversation. I saw you had some comic reviews up, and Joe's like, well, if you ain't going to have me on your show, I'll make my own damn review show. No, Joe, thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate that with all my heart, and hope you had a good weekend too. And Joe Dog McKeel says, pending program note, Wednesday, July 4th, after Truthmongers, Armchair Rocket Science will have a special live update on Starship Progress with a live from the launch site guest, maybe even a double camera shot from there. This will be a start of a new collab with this YouTuber. Oh, very cool indeed, Joe Dog. Keep us posted. And Brian Rodman, good morning, my fellow Brian and Nevermorians. Well, the romance blossomed ever so sweetly between the Bryans this weekend, folks. It was the stuff of legends. Yeah, and there's a whole bunch of embarrassing photos. Actually, they're not embarrassing. I think they're beautiful. That one that Robyn caught of us when we first saw each other. Here's the thing. We pulled up into the convention center, and Cookie and I got out of our car. We're taking our first load in, because we carry a lot of stuff. But we're walking in, carrying ours, and I look up, and our eyes meet. And it's like Willow Schuyler said, there should have been this moment where we're like in slow motion running towards each other, but we had this big bear hug on each other, and Robyn snuck a picture of us. Robyn being Brian's incredibly charming, beautiful wife. And it was a great time, and we couldn't help it. We just hugged every chance we got. People probably thought it was like, Brian and I were a couple, and, not knowing that, Robyn and Cookie were our spouses. They're probably thinking that, Cookie and Robyn were an item, but they were just a little less flamboyant than the two of us. But that was great. And I was flipping through I was alternating between Floppy Cop and Memoirs of an Angel, which I've read and loved. I really did. But I, just after the rain and the weekend and the peopling, a lot of us do what we do in isolation, and then suddenly there's this giant psychic onslaught of people. But it was so much fun. And Carl, I hope you're listening. we had I was on a panel yesterday for a creative's mind, which was basically showing the link between mental illness and creative people. And, for instance, one of the, depressed people, depression runs rampant in our industry. Speaking as one who has it frequently. And, we talk about like Edgar Allan Poe or Robert E. Howard or Jack Cole, the creator of Plastic Man, who without any, without any warning take their own lives because the world just isn't a lovely place sometimes. And we could all be nicer to each other, but be that as it may, I talked about imposter syndrome. And before we left, I said, folks, I have one thing my friend Carl Witzman told me years ago. And I said, any of you who are writing, any of you who are creating, you're already accomplishing more than a lot of people already do. And I wanted to quote my friend Carl. He said, the only people who suffer from imposter syndrome are people who have accomplished something. And it was like with me, Carl, it was like you could almost see those, like in the cartoons, the light bulbs forming over everyone's head and just blazing. And so many people like, wow, that's right. And Carl, I think you helped a lot of people yesterday. Okay. And the moderator was like, oh my God, I've got to write that. She was writing it down. So we had you were responsible for a very big ta-da moment yesterday. Okay, Carl, thank you for that. And Sarah says, awesome packages from people. Well, thank you for noticing my package, Sarah. It makes me happy in so many ways that I'd love to describe to you in private. But no, I'm seriously, I am so happy to reread Memoirs of an Angel and then this Floppy Cop. I may even review these on you know what I ought to do? I ought to review those get those read, review those on Thursday's Comic Book Spectrum, and tag Seth and Dan in on it. And see if they'll come on the show for a rebuttal. No, I've already flipped through them, and I was sitting there smiling. Couldn't concentrate on more than one page at a time, but I was definitely enjoying them. So anyway, thank you, Sarah. I love you. And Brian Rodman, I was blessed with the BKM collection of works this weekend. So looking forward to diving into Volcana this week. Expect a review very soon, my friend. Thank you, Brian. Thank you. And we got to get your stuff up on the Big A, if you know what I mean. And I will work with you on it. I'd love to help you with that, okay? But you got the files. That's half the battle. Grant Lankard says next episode of It's Like a Book Report, but fun is about Wonder Woman, Dead Earth. Yes, it's as good as everybody says. Cool. I would like to see you guys review the 3 volumes of Wonder Woman Year One. Grant Morrison writes it, and it's very woke. It is super, super woke and super, super entertaining. And the art, I believe, by I can pronounce his name when I'm looking at Pankett is his last name, I think. He's done a lot of great work over the years. But anyway, I'd love to see what you guys say about that. Donna, Carlene, thanks, Brian, but it took us to do what you do by yourself. You're too modest, Donna. You two made it look easy. That's the thing. And John B. Pica, my other friend from Imaginarium, it was so good to see you, my brother. It's so good to hang with you. So much fun. And I was enjoying the car races yesterday. Somebody had taken Hot Wheel tracks. John was a part of this. So was Matthew Jackson. They had taken Hot Wheel tracks and run them from a second floor staircase, and it kind of curved in the middle, and they were running Hot Wheel cars down there in the middle of the day. That was hilarious. And John, you were terrific yesterday. It was so much fun hanging with you and you sharing your wisdom with me and inspiration, and thank you for coming to dinner with us. You are a definite treat. Check out what this man does. He's got his own broadcast network. Check out Back of the Cereal Box every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern, and also 10 o'clock on Wednesday night. Yum, new comics. Check it out. You never know, I may be popping in there every now and then from now on. And Stupid O'Clock's YouTube channel is at 99 subscribers. If you haven't already, please, Joe Dog, please, somebody be the 100th person to subscribe to Joe Dog's YouTube channel on YouTube. Stupid O'Clock. Oh man, I'm excited for you, man. I really am. And a not so enjoyable whipping to whoever unliked before even watching the show. Sarah, we think we know who it is. It's that person you and I have been discussing. Okay, and in a wonderful way. And Eric Hawkins says, "Hey, you leave my dislike alone, or I'll log in under my other accounts and give you more." No, you can't get verified, Eric, under your Pornhub account. So I hear. So anyway. He's just teasing you, you know it. And John B. Bike, it was great to see everyone Imaginary. It was so cool to see you, man. And thank you very much for your Nightrike. I'm looking forward to getting that and reading that. That's going to be so cool. So cool indeed. John is an incredible entertainer, a great personality, and so much fun. And he's doing a lot of stuff that I'm like, I got to copy that. And Lee Reese, a great illustrator, and glad to see you, sir. Good morning, Sir Brian, and all you Nevermorians. Hope everyone is doing well this morning. Hope you are too, Lee. Hope everything is going well for you, my friend. And from this Small Press Publisher, I just got here, and we got a thumbs down. Got to be positive to say thanks for the engagement. Exactly. Yeah, somebody, if it makes them happy, and it doesn't bother anyone else, I think why not? And we may be having a little pixelation. I see that our local signal is a little weak, so hope we're still coming through. And anyway, hi YouTube fam. You're so glad. Give some love to Sarah. And subscribe to youtube.com, the Legend of Traveling Tars. You don't want to miss these episodes tomorrow. It's July 13th. The review of Big Finish is out of time, starring David Tennant and Tom Baker. And on the 20th, exclusive for NFM, special guests Kevin R. McNally, Josh Hami Gibbs from Pirates of the Caribbean, and Hugo Lang from Doctor Who's The Twin Dilemma. Excuse me. Oh, I forgot he was in that. That's right. We're less than 200 viewing hours from hitting our YouTube goal. Subscribe and watch. Thank you, everyone, for your support. And good morning to you, Christian. And Brian Rodman says, this weekend I found a fantastic tabletop game created by an equally fantastic individual. Faraway Land is hilarious and a magical world that allows you to play through stories featuring... Oh, we got cut off there. Dang it. And Mama's is so amazing. I could eat there every day and not get tired of it. I'm so glad you all enjoyed it. We did. Next time, like I said, we are going to, Cookie and I are probably just going to order an entree between us and then just have one of those big chocolate and ice cream things. That looked magical. It seriously was good. And I liked Witch Witch. Witch Witch was really good on Saturday night, too. And shared. Thank you, Ryan Permisson. As always, please share this broadcast and let your friends see the kind of people you hang out with. And that's a free comic. I believe it might have been re-released as a trade paperback, but the actual comic itself is free and can be read on their website. Oh, cool. Definitely let them know somehow. Send them an email. Say, I appreciate this free preview. I'd love to see more. And Lion, say you bought a copy. Anyway, Ryan Permisson said, happy Monday, Nevermorians. How are you? I'm doing well. That is good to know. And check out the latest episode of the podcast Talking Movies at Anchor FM. The Nerdcast has reached episode 106. You should too. And Ryan Permisson says, subscribe to Nerd Culture channel on YouTube for great nerdy content. And in case you missed it, check out our latest episode of, and I quote, with veteran comic book artist, editor, and writer Garth McMurray. Check that out. I gotta watch that. That looks good. And speaking of looking good, there's Pops Van Zant. Hey, O'Brien, and all of you tune in this afternoon for Monday Madness tonight at 4 p.m. Eastern Time with my co-host Rich Parada and Poppin' at 6 p.m. with Piper and myself. Yeah, I watched last week's Poppin'. That was a lot of fun. You're getting some good shows, Pop, as always. And check out CromCon last weekend of a month. You'll be glad you did. And Ryan Permisson's summer reading recommendations. You got them. Send them to this man at Facebook via direct messenger. And speaking of Far Away Land, the Dastardly Dingoes podcast will be doing a live playthrough with the creator of the game himself in this coming season of the show, says Brian Rodman. And he would know. And Ryan Permission says, if you want to have a friendly conversation and promote your future projects, spots are open for fall 2021 to be a guest on, and I quote, we are live Saturday at noon Eastern, but if we need to pre-record, we can do that. He's flexible like that. Sign up at thiscalendar.com or calendly.com and get you a slot on there. Guys, I've been on his show. Ryan is a fun interviewer. Check him out. John B. Pica, we need to get you on there if you haven't been already. You probably have, but I can't access the memory part real fast. I'm trying to catch up here. Eric Hawkins says, my wife threw me a surprise 50th birthday party on Saturday, and it was great with cigars and booze, and friends and family showed up from as far away as Miami and Michigan. You deserve it, Eric. You sincerely deserve it, man. That is beautiful. And God bless Jennifer for going all that work. That is amazing. So I'm happy for you, man. I really am. And welcome to the second century of life. And Skunk Rocker should be earning six figures as a creative. Hell yeah, John B. Pica. Definitely. And if nothing else, you'll be happier and able to do more creative stuff. And Skunk's got so many talents. Under his secret identity of Kyle, he put together my countdown clock. I just put out one night, I may have been on Stupid O'Clock or on here or wherever, but that everyone's doing the standard StreamYard countdown clock, which I'll show you. This is it. So yeah, and it's just like everybody's show was starting with that, and I'm like, I want to stand out. So I was trying to put together my own, and I don't know how to video edit. I need to teach myself how to do just the simple stuff. And I was trying to put something together. I was using something from Microsoft to try to put something together. No, it wasn't a video editor. It was something else, and it was coming along, and it looked pretty fair. But it was a lot of work. Skunk, God bless this man. He got it to me the next day, and I'm like, holy cats, this guy is amazing. He should be doing this professionally, and I love him for it. And I've got that beautiful 10 seconds, So yeah, he should be doing this. I agree. Skunkcracker says, I like this job enough to stick it out. The only way I'd give it up is if I could go full-time working on graphics and videos and stuff, and that's not going to happen. Don't have that, I'll tell you one thing that's holding you back, Skunk, in all honesty, is, don't believe it won't happen. I mean, I thought for a while I couldn't make being a full-time author and creative and broadcaster work. And now, look at me. I'm doing well. I'm doing okay. It's getting better too. And Pops Van Zandt urges you to smash the like and share the stream. Excuse me. We get steamy around here. Anyway, Pops Van Zandt, and definitely check out CromCon at the end of the month, and check out what Pops does on the Comic Talk and Comic Madness channels. And please give that some love too. And Ryan says, glad you all had fun at Imaginarium this weekend. Hope to meet you all one day at the conventions. Yeah, I'd love it if we could get out a little closer to your 20, good buddy, and see about causing some trouble out there and hitting all the local restaurants. And yes, the Imaginarium 2021. Anyway, with Brian and John and myself and a whole bunch, and Kathy and just a whole bunch of other people, and some of whom will be appearing on Clever Tile Pending in the near future. Grant Langer says, you might be one of those people who likes his job, but not as much as he likes complaining about his junk skunk. My brother is like that. It gives you something to talk about, that's for sure. And I was that way a lot of time at the water company. And when I had my moments when I'm wondering what will happen to me, not a single thought was, boy, I can't believe I'm leaving this job I love, because I love the people. It's like my job at Office Depot. I love the people, but Not too thrilled with the job itself and many of the people in the higher echelons. So yeah, but we gotta get you out of there, skunk. And yeah, it's like, yeah, I have a lot of miserable days here, but that thing about it is it's never my fault. I always show up, everybody else that sucks. As long as I keep doing my job, my boss loves me. Well, Cookie has been that way too. She's got a work ethic that would kill most people, including me. And my work ethic is pretty strong. But that's usually the reason she leaves jobs, is that she's the only one rowing. That everyone else sees that, oh, we can dump work on her. She worked at a franchise daycare center one time, and people were doing that. They would be like, oh, I know you're busy trying to make food for the kids, but you've got time to watch my room while I go out and take a smoke break, that sort of thing. Or I've got, bathroom breaks are one thing, but they were taking like a lot of breaks, and, oh, you gotta watch my kids and everything. And Cookie just had enough of it after a time. And or she'll work in a restaurant where they won't give her the hours to do what she needs to do, but or and then she gets stuff thrown at her that other people in the building should be doing, but they're too precious to do it. So skunk, that's a problem with having a good work ethic, that it's like showing up on time. There's nobody around to appreciate it. And you can wear a dress if you want to, Brian. And I can dance if I want to. I can leave my cares behind. Because my friends don't dance, and if your friends don't dance, well, they're no friends of mine. Anyway, yes, I can. This is America. I can do what I want. And you don't know if I'm not wearing a dress. I feel pretty today. And Grant Lanker says, I've never worn a dress, but I did wear fishnet stockings and short shorts for a stage production of Rocky Horror. Angie was loving me. Help shop for that. Oh my God, I understand. I was in that's cool. I didn't know you did stage work, dude. That is very cool. Not unexpected, but very cool. But no, I did a stint on La Caja Fall. Like I said, if you watch The Birdcage with Robin Williams, this is the original, what Birdcage is based on, but funnier, infinitely funnier. It is a super, super show. And for a while, I was wearing like pink hair. I spray on pink hair down to the sideburns, and I had bright green fingernails, and that kind of stuff is liberating. And then before that, I did a production of, I was in a production of Walt Disney's Beauty and the Beast, where I played Maurice, and the director said, I had kind of a reputation in the local theater. It's like, if it's a little out of the way, Brian will do it. And she said, we need a baritone on stage. I said, well, I can sing from off sides. And she goes, no, we need it on stage for the mix of sounds. And she goes, Brian, would you be willing to wear a dress? And I'm like, you remember who you're talking to? Yeah. So I posted on Facebook occasionally. It's like this big babushka kind of thing. And I had a fan because I also had a mustache, bright white mustache. And I was holding the fan up like this and waving at people with the other hand. And then during the scene, during the opening number, like in the movie where the crowd's people are like walking around, just doing their everyday thing and preventing Gaston from encountering Belle, who's got her nose stuck in a book. Well, while that's going on, I slip out through the back and I do this quick change into the remainder of my Maurice costume. So it was fun. And there we go. Here we go. Brian Rodman's in the same vein as I am. You can wear a dress if you want to. You can show off your behind, because if your friends wear pants and they don't wear a dress, well, they're no friends of mine. And that explains a lot of what Brian and I were doing this last weekend. Anyway, Carlene says, that's sweet. Carl just brought me more coffee. I think I'll keep him. My God, yeah, if he'd bring me coffee, I'd keep him too. Heavens. Pumpkin spice this morning. And Grant Lankard says, I think you picked a good one, Donna. I agree with that completely. Carl's a keeper. And even if you wanted to return him, I doubt you still have the receipt. Yeah, I think the return period is well and truly over with Carl. And Cindy kept, God love you, for a glorious time. Go to Smashwords and look for me. I've got it soon. And I think Donna's planning a ClydeCon soon. Oh, we could do a Sarah and a ClydeCon and a Michaela Con all at once. This would be great. And I wonder if Sarah is on the way. from you and me. Yes, she is, Carl. Just a little jog off to the side, but yes, she is. And Cindy Kemp talks about armor forged by a god. Why, that's Volcana. Check it out on Amazon. And yes, sounds accurate, says Odessa Small Press Publisher, on meeting everyone in person. Well, it's like in 2020, we had Michaela Con over at my house. We were kind of a central point for a lot of people. And so we invited several creatives to come on down to my place, and we spent the afternoon together and had lunch, and it was lovely. So Sarah says, I'm more than happy to be your booth babe. I have the perfect corset to wear for it. Oh my gosh. Did it just get warm in here? And Cindy Cap says, get the axe from Mr. Nicholas Anthony Tucker to learn how to use yours even more efficiently. And Nightreich and Magic from Amazon.com. Check it out from John Pica. That's good stuff. And Rule 633, Part B, Section 3 of Marriage. If the male thinks he is wrong, grumble, grumble, grumble. So, such a dog with Keel. That's true. That's tragically true. And all the Doctor Who you can use. Check out Christian Basil's Legend of Traveling TARDIS every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. And the artwork of Bill Sarton. Good morning to you. Marvelous Monday morning to the Mogul Man and the Red Fez and all the magical Monday-morians. Count your blessings and use them well. Even better, give them to somebody else. I got to talk to a number of people this weekend, trying to get them on their creative journey. And I think we're going to be seeing some really cool stuff coming out of Imaginarium. And Skunkrocker said, mocks Grant with his laughter and says, it's not like that I like complaining about my job. It's just that lately it's been a pain, or it's getting to you is the thing. And hashtag brings Cookie home. Thank you, Bill Sarn. Appreciate that so much. Yeah, she goes back to work tomorrow. So I've got to run her to exhaustion today while I still have the opportunity. And Cindy Cap says, Dastardly Dingoes, you want them, you need them, you got to have them. There's their YouTube channel there. And I got to meet the Dastardly Dingoes this weekend too. Chad and Jeremy Chad Nuss and Jeremy Woodring came out to Imaginarium, and I got to meet them for the first time. And OMG, got to talk to them in person. So much fun. Oh man, this was like a super weekend for me. It really was. I had such a great time. And I need to learn to not write scenes. I hate coloring, says Grant Lanker. I just scroll to the next page and it's a wood scene. All those individual leaves, wood textures, dirt textures, blades of grass, etc. Well, you might talk to Brian Rodman and other colorists about it. I tend to approach art when I drew. I used to draw, but I approach it from the Joe Maneely point of view, that look at your work at three different layers. There's a immediate foreground, a mid-range foreground, and then a distance foreground. And Joe Maneely had a wonderful style. Look up his artwork online. It is gorgeous. But what he'd do is the stuff in the far background would just be pretty much blocks. It would be, or not blocks, but it would be solids, like outlines to give you an idea what it is, and then solid shadowing. So you can tell where the light source is. And then the mid-range would have a little bit more detail, but not a lot. But your foreground characters would be lavishly illustrated. Really tight feathering and everything. If you could get a hold of his Black Knight work with that he did with Stan Lee, it is gorgeous. That stuff. It came out in one of the Marvel expensive Marvel archives a number of years, about 10 years ago or so, and it was the Stan Lee, Joe Maneely Black Knight with some backup stories by early John Romita Sr. And then the 4-issue run of The Yellow Claw. The first issue was drawn by Maneely, written by Al Feldstein of Mad Magazine fame. And then the next 3 issues were written and penciled by Jack Kirby and inked by John Severin. Beautiful stuff. But yeah, you might study the word. I could see where the same thing would apply to coloring as well, with more of your detail in the foreground rather than the back. Anyway, yes, says Donna Carlene, I've ordered some models from Clyde's lovely wife, and since they're so close, day trip, oh yeah. And the Legend of Traveling TARDIS, you both have spouses. That's not going to stop you to hashtag Brokeback Mountain. see Christian, and when you meet us both, don't forget, we can't quit you either. And nerd culture, it's not just for yogurt, it's for YouTube. Check out Ryan Permission's stuff. And from the desk of a small press publisher, every Saturday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central, it's good stuff. And the bromance was, well, people felt the love in those pics. Glad you and Brian Rodman had a great time. We did. And now, probably there's a lot of you are going, oh dear God, what if those two visit us? Oh jeez, we're going to get hugged to death. And Neurosis, Amy Hale will lead you down the path of thrilling adventure with her brand new book, Neurosis. Please check it out. And Brian is quoting me at cons. Next year I should start trying to oust Dr. Phil. You're already heads and shoulders more useful than he'll ever be. And, Dr. Phil is not the most highly respected psychologist in the field. Let's put it that way, So, anyway, Warriors Trilogy from Michaela Jade could use more reviews. Couldn't we all? Please check it out on Amazon. Read those amazing books if you would. And I think you should. And if you need help writing a review, Amazon Reviews made less impossible. That's right. And you definitely want to get that. It's available on Smashwords and Amazon. Amazon Book Reviews Made Less Impossible, Reader's Guide to Rewarding Authors by me, Brian K. Morris. It's $2.99 in ebook. We are working on a physical book. And it's a handy guide on how to write concise, honest reviews and why you should. And even 1-star reviews like our moron who keeps thumbs downing me. Have a sweet day. Bless your little heart. And it does help. It does help. And if it, and honestly, it helps writers in so many ways, and not just using the critique, but it also helps them with the algorithms. And I want to chase my dreams, but there are laws that stop me. Yeah, same here. And restraining orders. I understand. Grant Lankard, for sure. I worked on a comic book anthology a few years ago, and you wouldn't believe how many people agreed to work on the anthology and didn't finish one page. Grant, I get the same in prose. I recently I've gotten into more than one book because their first choice, I don't get asked because people think I'm too busy, but I will, for a fun project, I will delay some of my own, which I have for 2 years because I've had some great offers come up. But the thing is, a number of people, so-called professionals, or I shouldn't say that actually, but life happens. There's some that life happens, and there's some that just frankly don't know what a deadline is and couldn't care to learn. But when they let the publisher down, the publisher turns to me. And I am, not to brag, but I've learned enough skills that I can get a story out, and it fills the pages and it comes in on time, if not early. I have bailed more than one publisher out. Okay. It's a good talent to have, Grant. It really is. And Grant and Cindy Caput goes, how poetic. Teresa Dunn, 2 volumes of poetry expressions. She's working on that 3rd, getting closer every day. And if you can sit down and work on something, you should be proud. Exactly. It's like I told the people at the seminar, if you have even just started putting together your work, you're already light years ahead of all the wannabes. It's like, I'd sure like to write a book. And that's as far as they get, just talking about it. And how many people don't even talk about it? There's probably the hundreds of people per one person that says even that to us. But there was a whole lot of people this weekend I got to talk to that they got a lot of direction. They got a lot of help. They're pushing their careers forward. I was talking to a absolutely lovely lady yesterday afternoon who I hope follows through and friends me on Facebook. She wants to start her YouTube channel, or not her YouTube channel. Excuse me. She wants to start her comic career, and she's going to start with web comics. And I was talking to her, and she also wants to broadcast, but I could tell she was incredibly shy, but she has this wonderful, amazing smile. And I told her, I said, you don't have to dress in a fez and a bow tie, but you can, just be yourself. And anyone who's met me in person knows that, this is me, but not me, but also it is primarily me. I try not to swear as much on here, but yeah, it's like, yeah, you should be proud that you've even made the attempt. And speaking of special packages, Sarah is here. Yeah, but it's my package she was talking about, Christian. Anyway, City Cap, the Historical Fencing Guild takes a break this week, but stay tuned because it will be back Friday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, and it is always, always good. Speaking of always, always good, there's Kathy Jackson, Imaginarium, blah, blah, blah. Imaginarium Convention was so much fun. Steven Zimmer and Holly Marie Phillip put on such an awesome show. It was a blessing to see and visit with everyone. Matthew Mad Kilt Jackson and I can't wait to do this again next year. Big hugs. Me too, hun. Me too. And what really capped off my weekend, Kathy, was all weekend, because she was running around putting out fires, was Holly. I didn't get to see her till the very last person there, and I ran up and we had a hug fest. I got to introduce her to Cookie. That was the main thing for me. I got to, so many people knew me, but I got to introduce them to Cookie, because this was her first Imaginarium, and we got to go out to dinner with some of our dearest friends, got to hang out, got to talk, got to show off my brains and everything. I had a good time, had a great, great time. And again, thank you to everyone at the Imaginarium for basically making me feel like a rock star. At one point when I was trying to find a private place to do my final virtual panel, and I wound up finding a spot, and it was great. And it was with your next door neighbor. We were up on the second floor, sitting on the carpet, trying to find a Wi-Fi signal. But our nightstand friend. But anyway, I went up to Steve and I said, if I can find an empty room, can I take it over? And he goes, "You're Brian K. Morris. You can do whatever you want." I'm like, oh my God, you're right. So anyway, from the Small Press Publisher, Grant, that book is amazing. Let me know when you go live with the review. Yeah, that sounds good. And CromCon is gearing up again, and I believe the slots for this month's already are filled. So if you want to promote yourself, you need to get on that early. So follow CromCon, follow the madness and Comics Talk with Papa Van Zandt, and be much more fun to get you out of that corset. Yeah. Oh, I don't wear corsets. Anyway, hey there, friends. Michaela J. Michaela, check out her tidbits and scribbles every Friday night on the Rising Tide Channel Network. And also, please check out her Morning Inspiration, where she gives you a much-needed kick in the ass to get your day started and getting creative. And your dislike, that's my dislike. Oh, well then, if I know how to get rid of that, I could block Christian. And he done, I could block Christian and see if he is the one. Anyway, no, Sarah, yes, I wondered if it was that person who did the immediate dislike. Yeah, got nothing else to do. And Michaela of the Jades, it's not like he's creating comics or anything. And IABE was a small but mighty con in Valley West Mall. Fun folks, cool books, jewelry, amigurumi, and snazzy art. IABE will be in Omaha in late September. Join us. Cindy, I hope you did well there. I was thinking about you all weekend and hope you did well at IABE and hope you had a good time and sold all the books. And the artwork of Bill Sargent says, I just watched the Warner Brothers animated movie Batman The Long Halloween Part 1 based on the DC comic classic book by Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale. It's amazing and I can't wait till Part 2 comes out. Yeah, I'm kind of gratified, although I'm kind of lukewarm on the comic animated stuff that basically just rehashes the story. I mean, that's fine. It's a good time killer, but it's like I'd rather see something new. I'd rather see something really fun and creative, and especially talk to those two and say, hey, Jeff, would you like to write a screenplay? He's done it. Would you, Tim? Would you like to do the storyboards for this? I think that would be a lot cooler. But probably not as costly. But anyway, Joe Dog McKeel, okay, the Benadryl has cleared my head of those blasted allergies. Sadly, it has also cleared my desire to stay awake. I will catch y'all on Wednesday. Stay safe. Hey, Joe Dog, mwah, brother, good to see you here. Enjoy your nap. And Joe Bachman, get some rest, Joe Dog. See you Wednesday. It's a date. And Comics Talk with Pop Van Zandt says, I got to meet fellow Madness member and resident of the town I live near, Brad Arney. Oh, cool. This weekend, I know the feeling, Brian. Brad and I have been friends online, but had never met. That was a blast. Yeah. I mean, that was great. Brian and I had a super, super time just hanging out and laughing. Man, we laughed so much. And like Billy Zane said in Demon Knight, if it makes you feel good, do it. And a Via con Diablos to you too, says the Skunk Rock. Crocker. Thank you for that, man. And here we go. Philip Thompson, good to see you, man. Morning thought of a way to copyright using my logo for my page on my characters. What do you think? You cannot copyright a logo. You can only trademark it. You can copyright the work. Now, if you're protecting your logo, that is a separate issue because you want to reserve all marketing rights to your logo. And like if you're making like coffee cups or merchandising using that logo, I mean, you could try it. Definitely copyright your work, but this is the sort of thing I would recommend going to an attorney to get an answer for, okay? And Fort Dodge Comic and Toy Show, QuadCon Fort Frenzy, July 24th. Come on out and see them. And then they're going to be in Waterloo, Iowa on the 25th, and she will be there. The one, the only, the lovely, the incredible Cindy Kep will be there. Will you be there? I think you should be. I think I've got a show that I've got a show the day. I've got a show on the 24th. I will be at Muddy Monster Comics at 1422 Walnut Street. Or actually, I'll be at I don't remember what the convention venue is in Murfreesboro, Illinois. We'll have more information on that next week. But this Saturday, I will be at Heroes for Kids Con at 800 City Park Drive. And please check out their Facebook page for more information. I will be there with a lot of cool, creative people, including a whole bunch of Nevermorians. And I don't know whether I'll be there. And to everyone who's going to be there, I don't know if I'm going to make it that Friday. It's good. Cookie really, really wants to go. And so I'm going to have, she's going to put in a long day with a little sleep the next day. I'm going to put in a long day on Saturday. So anyway, we will find out. Anyway, arise, Monday Morris Monster, arise, says the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern. Oh, when you think about you touch yourself, or at least the other version of the man who bears the name Brian. All shout, hand check as the manhandling begins. Oh my God. Oh, we may have to, you may be reaching that point where you're not embarrassing me, but I may have to stop you. Anyway, the artwork of Bill Sarn, I've been enjoying popping in on Stupid O'Clock last couple of weeks, and Joe McKeel cracked me up when you introduced me as the Tim Conway of Stupid O'Clock. I saw that. It's just that you've got that great deadpan, Bill. And Brian Rodman, let's try this again. Faraway Land features great floating alien heads who speak dubstep and evil Abraham Lincoln clones and so much more. Search for it on Facebook and get a game together. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I meant to go. I never got up and checked out his stuff. I should have. That looked like he was a good guy to talk to. I really enjoyed him being there. And Davenport QuadCon, July 31st. Through August the 1st, do join us. QuadCon Comic and Toy Show equals cool stuff. And Cindy Kep will be there. And that's all the cool you can handle. Trust me. She's amazing. And Eric Hawkins, you may joke about the Pornhub, but I was a member of a website some years ago that may have had several compromising videos and pictures of you. And Jennifer, well, then the research begins just for my own sake, okay? And the artwork of Bill Sarn, The Bird's the Word, when you get Cindy Kep's nice and nifty newsletter at ckoepp.com. It is truly really something to tweet about. And Comics Talk with Pop and Sand says, Brad gave me a signed book and a piece of Michael Watson art. Ooh, I love Most Epic art. And I gave him a signed Life on Korra #3. How very cool. That is awesome, Pops. I love hearing that. And this weekend, Iowa Gaming Classic, Merle Hay Hall in Des Moines, Iowa. Check out the work of Cindy Kep. Go to Amazon, check her out, and also check out her her website, ckoepp.com, and sign up for her monthly newsletter. You will thank me for it. And I think I owe him one, says Bob's Van Sant. Could be. Although Life with Korra is pretty awesome, dude. And Eric Hawkins, I can't wait to meet Rodman as well and rub up and down on him. Oh, my God. Oh, just to feel his beard brush the side of your face. It's like a hair care commercial. It is lovely. It is full and luxurious. And you just want to make a bed of it and lie in it naked. And now Christian, the tears are rolling down his eyes going, why can't I be a book writer? Anyway, Cindy Kep, Sarnart 76 for all the vintage cartooniness you need. Check it out, the artwork of Bill Sarn, where everything old is new again. And hello, beautiful people. Mwah, hello, beautiful Keisha Acuff. How are you this weekend? How are you doing, my love? How's everything holding up? All right. And from this, a small press publisher, Never Say Never, Skunk Rocker. Who would have thought that I would be doing comics publishing part-time even now? Hey, who knew that I would be a guest at conventions? Who knew that I would be publishing and broadcasting full time. So, and I mean, this isn't imposter syndrome or anything. I literally have tried to make money doing this and no one wants to pay. I end up doing all my stuff for free because nobody wants to spend any money. Says Skunk Rocker. Skunk, I offered to pay. I really did, but you did out of the kindness of your heart, and I love you for it. And I'm proud to promote you. The problem is that a lot of people who are outside of the creative field don't understand that it takes time, it takes effort. And when you ask someone, hey, would you do this for me? What do you mean you want money for it? It's like you have spent a chunk of your lifetime, your time on this planet, whether we agree or not that there will be a time afterwards. The time you've got here, you have invested in your talent and your art, whatever it may be. And a lot of people, I get people all the time, well, would you edit my book? And I say, well, I'm going to have, how many pages is it? I'm going to have to charge you for it. Well, you're a writer. Why aren't you doing it for free? Don't you love writing? And it's like, yeah, I love writing. I also love paying my bills too. And also when I am working on someone else's, I can't work on my own. I've had people give me like 1,000-page manuscripts. They just send it to me, and I don't even open it. And I've gotten to the point now where I'm not afraid to block people, and I'm definitely not afraid to tell them, you can't be doing this. It is disrespectful. If nothing else, it is disrespectful to any creative person. But and it's one thing if you volunteer, because Skunk, I do a lot of pro bono work myself. Probably too much if you ask Cookie, but I will do things for my friends. I'm happy to do things for my friends. It makes me feel good. That's my payment. I might edit a short piece, or I might give them, some guidance and such. Or if somebody wants to pay me in coffee, I'm good with that. So, but there are some people outside this business, and I think a part of it is because we make it look so easy. Some of us, and they don't see the work that goes into it. This is something I brought up at Imaginarium when we talk about people on the outside of the creative field who compare us to people at the top. Like when I went to writing, I had so many people say, I've been at it like 6 months, and they're like, well, you're making as much as Stephen King yet? And I'm like, well, read between the lines. Stephen King has 40 years and immense talent over me. So it's not a fair comparison. That would be like, Skunk, like a wrestler. If you're working the independent leagues, and even if you're wearing a belt, then you're going to get compared to Hulk Hogan. In terms of fame and money, you're going to be compared to Ric Flair. You're going to be compared to Vern Gagne. And it's unfair to judge creatives by, at the independent level, by the people who are established in household names. But they also don't see the rewrites that Stephen King will do. They don't see the hard work he has in preparing the manuscript, getting the okays, and then executing it, and then getting it back and having to rewrite stuff. Because I'm sure Stephen King has to rewrite. Every writer does. No one's that good, ever. But it is not imposter syndrome. It's just simply the way things are. And to the people who don't understand that artists like to get paid, then they can find somebody else to do the work. But remember, most of the time that good artistic work is not free. Good artistic work is rarely free, and the free stuff is rarely good. So I feel you, Skunk. We really do. And just saying, follow your passion. Exactly. And the thing is, I have found, and this is going to be me sounding corny again, the rising tide. I've gotten so many benefits, and I have risen. I've risen high enough that I do have imposter syndrome. That remember, the only people that get imposter syndrome are the people that genuinely have accomplished something. I've saved a whole room of creatives yesterday. Thank you, Carl Witzman. But no, the passion brings its own rewards. returns. And if you do it with the right mindset, you network properly, you make the right friends. And I'm not saying deliberately let your friends find you, and you find the people you're attracted with. And hopefully you can all rise together. And Cindy Cap says, I made some amigurumi gaming dice. Each one is about the size of a softball. Oh, that's amazing. I love that. That is beautiful. I can't wait to see them. We're going to do a show this year, Cindy. I'm going to work at it. And Scott Barker says, and like part of me is not okay with that as long as I'm getting something in return for it, though I'm fine. It's just that lately diminishing returns on some of the stuff. This ebbs and flows, Skunk. I have time when I get a lot of work done because nobody's knocking at the door. And then sometimes everybody's like, hey, Brian's not busy. Come on, Brian, we got something for you to do. It ebbs and flows, dude. And you just have to be prepared and just fill the void with creativity that you can stockpile for later. And Brian Rodman says, Eric Hawkins, there will be many much good vigorous rubbings and such. Oh, I can't wait to rub you again, Brian. And Comics Talk Postman saying, Skunk, if you stop doing it for free, people might open their wallets. Just saying, yeah, Skunk, I hope you're starting to say no to some of these people. Do it for the ones you genuinely care about, or like like has been said, sometimes you can do it as a favor. They say, hey, if you'll do this for me, I will provide this for you. I'm not saying who, but I recently did a vigorous editing job for somebody on a comic book, and they're going to pay me off in coffee beans. And I'm like, yeah, I can work this. And sometimes I do it just because I love them. And I would have done this because I love them, but they said coffee. I decided, yeah, before they come to their senses. Anyway, there are Bill Sargent says, yours truly is being interviewed on Ryan Permission's Nerd Culture Podcast this Saturday, July 17th at noon Eastern and 11 a.m. Central. It's going to be a good time. You are going to have a lot of fun, Bill. Seriously, Ryan is a joy. He truly, truly is. And only the second comment up in the morning, and I am so far behind. I apologize. Thank you to everyone who's being patient and waiting for my comments. And me contributing a video to you, Brian, is my way of saying thank you for the show. Thank you for the rising tide. Thank you for bringing us all together. It's the least I can do. And Skunk, giving you credit for it is the absolute least I can do. And you have no idea how grateful I am. Seriously. And in all fairness, Cindy Kep sent me a video too, and I'm looking for a way to use it sometime. And I think I have a way. I just haven't incorporated it yet. But no, Scott, I appreciate it. And the love goes both ways. Seriously, you are such a fun figure. I tune into Stupid O'Clock to hear what all of you say, but I love it when you have stuff to say and you contribute to the conversation. Man, you've got a lot of information, a lot of pop culture nerdy stuff in your head that I'm like, wow, I'm like loving hearing it. And I know you've had a totally craptastic day at times, and you sit and stare at the thing, and I'm like, I just wish I could hug you. It's brotherly, fatherly sort of thing. It's like, oh, Skunk, please let me take some of your pain from you. You know what I'm saying? It'll get better, dude. We'll keep rising your tide, all right? I promise you. We have not stopped loving on you, all right? And speaking of people who love to love on, there is Willow Schuyler. Morning, everyone. Moss, Willow, good morning to you, sweetheart. Hope you had a great weekend, darling. And Scott Cracker says, especially since I don't have any money or time right now. Yeah. Two of the things we need most times if we find ourselves bereft of either. I understand, Skunk, but it'll get better, man. We'll do what we can to see to it. And safety dance, safety meetings, smoke it if you haven't, says Bob's Van Sant. And from the Decimal Small Press Publisher, I get it, Skunk Rocker. Making up your mind to truly pursue what you want is way more difficult to get over than imposter syndrome. It really is. But I've found that even the little successes spur me on to want more. If I'm a success junkie, it's because I see the benefits and I get the benefits, like meeting people. A lot of what happened at Imaginarium would not have happened were it not for this rising tide thing. So we just got to see how do we make it wash over Skunk and wash away all these blues. And here we go. There's Christian Illusionist, Jake Lindsay. Hi, Brian. Hi, Jake. All this week, I've been advertising my illusion shows and passed out lots of cards that helped out because lots of people have been coming to my shows. Next show, they're expecting 200 people. Now this is great. This is building your business, folks. I got to say, I'm going to use Jake as a good example. like about a year ago ish. Jake showed me a video where he did a show in a park, I think it was, and there were probably about 24 people there. But the man's been humping and pumping, and don't look any of that up, and getting the word out and promoting himself, and now he's looking at 3 figures now for his people. Keep up the good work, Jake. Keep it up, man. And The Birdcage is one of my favorite movies. Sarah, I love The Birdcage. I mean, I have never seen Gene Hackman or Robin Williams turn in a bad job, but the music, for one thing, is amazing in La Cage aux Folles, the play. Now, the original French movie is funny. It is genuinely funny. I got to see it at the Orpheum Theater in Champaign a number of years ago with a bill of other French comedies. And it was so much fun, and it stuck with me for years. But for those of you who don't know, well, look up the premise. That's what IMDb is for. But anyway, but the screenplay or the play itself is very, very funny, and I got to share the stage with my oldest friend Mark Lerner and some other people I absolutely adore. And plus, I made some new friends. And we also made a statement in Danville, Illinois, which could really use it. And it was so funny at the end where you have the receiving lines. A lot of theaters have receiving lines where you can go by and say thank you to the performers. And it was so much fun to see people that wouldn't make eye contact with you. That was fun. Hashtag fueled by spite. And then there were also people who we had a casual friendship, and they came up and hugged me. And speaking of hug, I could hug my honey right now. Thank you, sweetheart.
I think the computer's in the way, but
that's okay. We didn't drip on it. Nothing, no fire, no. Oh yeah, something is in the way. Hold on here. We gotta reward the chef. Mwah! Love you, honey.
Love
you. And if we get her home, we'll do it live on the camera too, and we'll let you all watch. Right, honey? Right, honey? We'll do it anyway. So anyway, we have smoochies. And Amy Hale, going to see you this Saturday at Heroes for Kids Comic-Con in Perryville, Missouri. Good morning, everyone. Mwah! Good morning to you, Amy. Hope you're doing well. And Sarah, sometime I ought to burn a copy of the soundtrack for you. And the closing song, man, it is beautiful. It really is. Will Schuyler says, my drag friends were part of the Birdcage during my city's Fringe Festival. I hope they bring it back. I think every city could have a Fringe Festival. But yeah, when I did this play, I had people I was friends with, and just, more casual friends than anything. But a couple of them saw me, and I played the stage manager for for La Cage aux Folles. And the one that had the submissive relationship with the dominatrix, Herman, real name Herman. And it was so much fun because, also the lady who was, my love interest, she and I have been friends for years, and it was so much fun. We had there was a portion of the play where the lead for the next scene had to change from street clothes into a very elaborate gown. And given the timing of the play, there wasn't enough time to get her out there, or him rather. And so Lisa, and I, who's my co-star, she and I would start flirting on stage and doing improv, and the audience really liked it. And then one night during rehearsal, we were told, well, you guys are going through it too fast. And I'm like, we don't know what's going on back there. Don't yell at us. And they had people helping the actor get into the dress and everything. And finally, one night, one of them, so Lisa and I started dragging out and doing more improv. And then after a while, somebody yelled, would you two stop flirting and get on with it? And I said, can we make that our cue? Can we write that into the show? That's our cue that they're ready. And so then we go back onto the script and get it done. But it was so much fun. It was really funny because at the introduction, I'm sitting next to Lisa on one side, Cookie is on the other side. And we're all friends. And there's that session where we're all introducing ourselves to the other actors and we say who we play. And I said, I'm the stage manager. And in the play, I am Lisa's bitch. But in real life, I'm Cookie's bitch. And everyone who knew me were going, that's pretty accurate. So anyway, yeah, I hope they bring back your Fringe Festival. That sounds like a lot of fun. And Comic Sock Pops and says self-promotion is key. I cannot stress that enough. Tell people where you are going to be, where your project can be found. If you don't, how can I? Exactly. How can he find it, right? And risingtide.pub, if you want to find out where I am till the end of the year. That's where my full schedule is right now. And it could change again. But when it does, we also highlight the change. So please check us out. Oh, it's out of the pot. Oh my God, it's hitting my ulcer. Oh, ooh, ouch. Ooh, ticky tacky. Anyway, so anyway, there's a link at the top where you can sign up for my free monthly newsletter. It comes out every first of the month. And we put in secret links and all kinds of fun stuff in there. It's not me just trying to sell you stuff. It's me sharing what it's like, what I do. And yeah, Donna Carlene, best thing I ever picked up in a bar ever. Good for you, Donna. And Comic Talk with Pops Fans End. Brad and I discussed Grand Rapids Comic Con. It appears I might be able to make that show. Watch out for live interviews. Oh, Pops, that would be awesome. And an important phone call is coming in. Be right back. Well, we hope you'll come back soon, Sarah. Hope it's good. Hope it's good news. And Scott Cracker, oh, great. There have been 2 more engagements. I like sci-fi and Ollie as much as the next guy who remembers when MTV showed music videos. Skunk, I didn't think you were that old. But I don't dig an internet sock puppet, man. Ooh. Yeah, sci-fi has been one of the major disappointments in broadcasting to me ever. I actually was one of the people in the Champaign, Illinois area who started petitions to get sci-fi put on the local cable system. And I was working in television. I'm basically saying, hey, could you put up a competitor? And it started out gloriously, all kinds of stuff about geeky stuff and sci-fi. But, after a while they were running, it seemed like nothing but wrestling. And then they were showing like old Star Trek, which is fine. At least they're sci-fi. And I was loving their Monday night schedule because it was Eureka, Warehouse 13, and Alphas. A solid 3-hour block. This is a little over 10 years ago. It was around 229 or so. And they had a solid group of shows, which were interrelated, actually. They were done by the same production teams. And they, occasionally had like guest stars popping in on each other's shows. Wish they'd finished Alphas. That was such a good show. But yeah, there was just finally starting to look like, yeah, you're a science fiction network again. And the next thing I know, they're back to doing the same old crap. And I don't even know what's on there now. And I can't say I even care. But when I saw G4 has come back, but it's only as a YouTube station. But yeah, they've got a couple of the original people back on there doing stuff. G4 stuff. I used to love G4. And Comics Talk with Pops and Sand. Did anyone else hear James Patterson will be writing the Shadow novels in the near future? Yeah. In fact, the first one has already been released to mixed reviews, Pops. I haven't read it yet. I plan to. But from what I'm hearing from my friends whose opinions I rely upon, they have taken out virtually everything that made him the Shadow. Clouding men's minds and this and then the other. It's more like they've turned him into a ninja, more of a ninja than a pulp hero. So I'm waiting I'll give a review when I finally read it, but that's not going to be a while. Oh, I thought you were talking about a different kind of wood to color. We could do that too. I mean, I'm up for just about anything, and I mean that literally, Sarah. Anyway, Joe Bachman, got to run for now. Hopefully see you folks on Wednesday. Joe, hope you have a much better Monday morning. Glad to have you here. Thank you for being here. And good morning, Nevermorians. Rick Bradley, thank you for showing up. I appreciate you, brother. Hope you had a great weekend. And the artwork of Bill Sargent says, Grant Lankard, in reference to your hatred of coloring, remember that sometimes minimalism is better than loading a page with cluttered art and color. Yeah. Many artists are popular for it. Look at probably the easiest person to color, Alex Toth. He is famous for his very minimalist approach to artwork, where it's basically very little feathering. Russ Manning is the same way. I've seen some of his black and white artwork, and it's, oh my God, it's breathtaking. But Alex Toth, who many people put up there with Jack Kirby and Will Eisner. He said that he spent the first half of his career learning what to put into a comic page, and then he spent the last half of his career learning what to take out. Yeah, seriously. Yeah. And, the thing is, you could, if you're doing the whole thing yourself, Grant, you can pass a number of colorists use, people to put in the big blotches of color, which then you can change in Photoshop. In fact, Cookie does that, and she works at a very reasonable rate. Grant, I can put you in touch with her, seriously. And I get none of it, believe me. Anyway, see ya, Joe B, says Carl Witzman. And Jake Lindsay, I have an idea for a kids-themed show. Imagine this, the safari guy going through the events where the animals were created. Experiencing Noah's Ark with the animals and lots to do. You think that works? Yeah, I do. Idea is sound, and just make it awesome, I know you will. And Carl Westman, dang, Dr. Phil has made therapy a spectator sport. That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works. Exactly, yeah. And plus the man is such a whore. I lost all respect for him a number of years ago when he had promoted a diet product. This was about 15, 20 years ago. And he had promoted a diet product. It had his name. He was saying how wonderful it was. And then they had to take it off the market because it was basically ineffectual. And when they said, well, Dr. Phil, why were you, shilling for this thing? And he's like, well, you can't blame me for any of it. I can't help it. You stupid people bought that thing. I'm just a spokesman. They paid me money to do that. I'm a psychiatrist. I'm not a physician. And I'm like, well, you should at least be a little more mindful what you put your name on. It's like, am I going to, oh God, just so many things I could put Dr. Phil's name on. What if I wanted to, Dr. Phil's leaky condoms, that sort of thing. If I gave him enough money, would he be going, these are the best leaky condoms ever? So, I promise you it retains nothing. So, just the idea that he's, the money means more than his reputation. It just annoys me. So, and Hybrid Sons of God says Cindy Cap. That's a great book. I love that comic book. Definitely check it out at Luke Stone Studios. Hey, also check out Luke Stone's. He's recently used a 3D printer to create a bust of Trash Man, and I'm loving that thing. And oh my goodness, folks, Fear Street on Netflix is so much fun, says Brian Rodman. So you can believe it. I love that they are releasing all 3 parts in 3 weeks of each other. Parts 1 and 2 have been supernatural slasher fun. An important part of a healthy, balanced breakfast. And more than powerful stories, definitely check out Bear Publications. Check out the newest book by Cindy Kep, Animal Eye, which is coming to you soon via Kickstarter. The first issue was fully funded and then some, and then she is prepping issue number 2, and I'm excited on that. And 3 thumbs down on YouTube. What WTF? I don't know. Maybe that person's coming under their sock puppet accounts and doing that. So, or Christian Basil is trying to did put one in there and is trying to get banned from here. And Cindy kept Get a Comic and Related Game at Kickstarter.com. Projects Luke Stone Studios, Hyper's role-playing game, Quick Play. Yes, definitely check that out. I played that. Nicholas Tockard has started that up. And it's beautiful. It is a beautiful, easy play system. Very intuitive. And you don't have to have like 50 years of D&D under your belt to appreciate the game and have fun. You can come in. All you need is like a D20, and that's a 20-sided dice for you outsiders. And just sit down and listen to the adventure and become a part of it. It is great stuff. And Pillow Talk was going to return today, says Willow Schuyler. However, my hubby and father-in-law are working on our garage, so I will join the busy lineup of shows tomorrow. My guest is cosplayer Harlequin Arts and Crafts. That is super. Willow Schuyler, definitely check out tomorrow night and get on the pillow with Willow. She is amazing. She does good content. I love watching her. She has become such a great interviewer. She really has. And she started out pretty talented. And the artwork of Bill Sarn says, join the Far Out and Groovy Kids by clicking on Facebook, Sarnart76, for better days from yesteryear. My snazzy, jazzy sketches and other gratifying goodies will tickle your innards and warm your heart. Plus, they're always available for purchase safe and securely through PayPal. So hit the follow button on the artwork of Bill Sarn, where everything old is new again. All right, excellent. And the Legend of Traveling Tars. Oh no, that'll get to be BKM's walking into conventions. I'm Brian K. Morris. That's right. I'm Brittany. That's so. In fact, that was one of the funny things from La Cage aux Folles. As some of us were gathering our wardrobe, and I told the wardrobe people, I'll get my own. I always get my own because I'm difficult to fit, being extra manly and all. But a beautiful lady who was one of the principals of our show, she got this beautiful dress, and she came in. She was just like, she was flaunting it. She was dolled up, and she was working that dress. And somebody went up to her and goes, wow, who are you supposed to be? And she just looked and goes, I'm Brittany, bitches. And that was her name. Her real name was Brittany. Goes, I'm Brittany, bitches. And so, yeah. And I'm going to start doing that, Christian. I'm Brian K. Morris, bitches. So anyway, at IAB, says Cindy Cap, I cosplayed Katara from Avatar, The Last Airbender, Saturday, and Jubilee of X-Men on Sunday. I think I freaked out more people as Jubilee than as Katara. Weird, because the only odd thing with Jubilee is the lighted glove. Holy cats, that's awesome, Cindy. I saw your pictures. I saw a couple of pictures over the weekend. Oh my God, you looked amazing. You were sensational. And Cool Willow, and hello, the Ninja Genko. Good to see you, my friend. And hey, gang, gotta pop out. Phones are ringing like Monday morning. Oh my God, do you think it's Monday? Holy crap. It's that bad, huh? John B. Pica, glad you were here, brother. So glad to spend time with you this weekend at Imaginarium. And F-Girds. Ninja Genko, thank you, sir. And the fact that they take the time to give you that dislike means you have truly impacted their life, and in all honesty shows you have a measure of control. Yeah, I can trigger them. That's right. They think they're so dominant. Here I am. Anyway, this is somebody who said, I think this is somebody who said they was going to end me. Man, I've given so much ammunition to get ended. Nobody. If you haven't done it by now, it means you're lazy. And Willow Schuyler says, Brian Rodman, Fear Street as in R.L. Stein Fear Street? I believe it is, young lady. And I'd pop in as Stupid O'Clock, but I think I would fit the title too well. You and me both. Pops is a great place, though, seriously, and it's a fun show to be on. I've only been on a couple times, mostly because Cookie says it's bedtime now. So... any man who says he's the head of his household will lie about anything. So, but no, it's a great show to be on, and it's a lot of fun. Just to, most of the evenings when I'm home, I'll just turn that on and listen to it while I'm working. And Jog McKeel, I will honor you with when I'm working. Normally, I don't have any music or YouTube on at all. I find it too much of a distraction. But you guys, listening to you guys is great entertainment. And there is Nicholas Anthony Talker. Good morning, all. Hope the weekend into the world of conversation has been shining down on you, grand folks. Nick, we had a great weekend at Imaginarium. We got to get you to something like that sometime. In fact, Imaginarium would be perfect for you, brother. And it's only 3 hours away. And they have all kinds of cool stuff. And it's not just books, which I think you'd be great at. OMG, your reference works in that place. Take all the money. You know what I'm saying? We gotta get you in touch with these people. Nick, let's talk about that. I'm serious, man. And Philip Thompson says, pretty clever, right? And create another group for my comic strips. Good for you, Philip Thompson. You're working it, and it's going to pay off for you. Just keep working and give it time, okay? And Michaela Jade, yay, I finally get to meet Cindy at QuadCon July 31st. Cindy, you and Michaela are going to love each other. You really will. Two incredible creative ladies, beautiful ladies, and Christian Basil's already reading the embarrassing remarks, which I will not read any of on this show, just because, we haven't gotten Cindy's permission to flirt, okay? And from the desk of Small Press Publisher O'Brien, I just thought about what you said. No, I'm not making a new review show. However, I have comics that don't fit into the rules of CBS that people have asked me to review. And that's cool. Seriously, Joe, I'm seriously glad you're doing that. It's just enhancing. Because we promote each other, man, and I appreciate your promotion of me. It makes me happy, and I'm happy to run your spot at the end of the show, man. But I just think the more we can talk about, like what Pops is doing, what you and I are doing, we're getting some people to look at some books that they might not have otherwise seen. And we get a little bit of crap on my show for reviewing Marvel and DC, but and why aren't you reviewing more independent books? Pay attention. That's what we've been doing. Okay, I mean, Eric, Eric and Brian, who I know are here, maybe Clyde is here too, can back me up. But I think we do more independent books than we do the two big ones. And I've sent one of the two big ones flying across the room. So that's when it takes flight without FAA clearance, that it's not good. So at least we didn't appreciate it. Anyway, Christian Lucia says, Jake Lindsay says, interesting fact for the day: a cheetah can run 95 miles per hour in 3 seconds. They're the fastest land animal. I learned that, Jake. I knew that. I learned that from an old issue of the Flash comics. Flash facts. Carl Westman says, dang, we can't go to QuadCon because we're babysitting our sister's cat and chickens. Ooh, the cat you could get away, but the chickens might be a tough travel companion. Yeah. But the thing with QuadCon, Carl, there's plenty of them, and I know Cindy's going to be doing more of them, and Michaela's going to be doing more of them, and I'm hoping I can get into one or two before the year's over. And from That's What Small Press Publisher continues. Most of them are crowdfunding comics, which are not in the local comic book stores, so I'm not stepping on no one's toes. I'm just patiently waiting for the June 30th CBS. That's right. We will do that. We'll bring you in as a fifth wheel, if nothing else. All right. Actually, I'm the fifth wheel on the show. But no. Joe, I think it's great. I really do. The thing is, the way I structured it, and the other guys agreed, was that the purpose of our show is that we review comics that, whether you get it from your local comic shop or from a website or from In Demand on Indiegogo or Comixology, you can get it right now. Because I get a number of people that think that just because I have a show that deals with creatives, that they're entitled to be on it. And I've actually had a couple people say, well, would you bump whoever you've got? Because I've got this promo and I'm doing all the broadcasting per week I really stand to do and still maintain my own career, with brief exceptions, very brief. But this was kind of to protect me and the others from well, we've got this Kickstarter campaign, and we see from this one panel, it looks good. We want to avoid that. We want to be able to connect people with comics right now. So, and Brian Rodman will tell you that I wasn't going to review Memoirs of an Angel until his Kickstarter campaign ended, and two, it was available for sale. And he met both of those. And these, like the floppy cops that I'm looking at, it's about a Chicago policeman whose spine has been stolen, and he's not letting that stop his thirst for justice. And yes, and this is a loving R. Crumb parody there. I'm glad you all knows. I knew Pops would know it. But anyway, but our I love what you're doing. I seriously love what you're doing there. And I think between the two of us, we got everything covered. Oh, actually, three of we talk Pops. And Willis Scudder says, remember, folks, when you get asked to give people the family and friends discount, add an extra 20% onto their bill. That's right. That's why I tell people, figure out what you want, mark it up another 100%, then take it, and then tell me you're taking 5% off because I like it. And Rick Radley says, was about to not send in 2,000-page manuscript, but realized we were friends, so sending it in for editing. Thanks, buddy. You bet. Rick knows better. And I do have some where it's like, okay, I'll do it when I get around to it. I've got 3 novels and about half a dozen short stories in the hopper. Anyway, Cox Talk, did Brian say Vern Gagne? I met that dude when I was a kid. My stepdad knew all the old AWA wrestlers. Met them all when I was about 10. Oh, man. I remember one time we were walking through Indianapolis Airport one time, and I think you'll know this name, Wilbur Snyder, who wrestled in the AWA in Indianapolis primarily. But he was usually on the same side as Dick the Bruiser and the Crusher. But yeah, I saw Vern Gagne, and I fanboyed. I was too fanboy to even go up and approach him. And I was about 10 when that happened too. But yeah, I've met a number of wrestlers. I used to go to shows and heckle. But I would heckle creatively. It was none of that, you suck. I would do like running jokes with them. In fact, my friends and I were kind of amusing. One night we made two of the Four Horsemen break character laughing. And one time, Dino Bravo, we saw him at a small show in Springfield, Illinois, and I was heckling him in bad high school French, and he was laughing so hard at my French, and I was telling him in French, "I'm trying, man, I'm trying to get you a reaction here," and he was laughing, and he was like, "Bring it on," and he's like, "Oh, keep doing this, and he knew nobody else knew what we were talking about. And then there was one guy up in the stand on the other side. If you look at it at a clock and I'm at noon, he was at 3:00. And this one Yahoo's sitting there sprawled out up in the bleachers, and he yells some obscenities and some personal insults. Dino just said, "Excuse me, man," walked in French and walked over to that side of the thing and went and let out this huge stream of saliva that I swear to God, he had a mutant power. That it went up, down, spread out, and doused him full center and about everyone sitting next to or around him. And I'm like, wow, that's impressive. And at the end of it, when Dino won, I yelled in French, I'm a fan. I really do love you. And he's like, merci, merci. It's like, and he was laughing. I was laughing. We parted as friends. And even Stephen King, says Rick Bradley, has to answer to someone to get a book to clear through his publisher. He's had stinkers as well, although few and far between. Ah, yes, the cocaine years. Yeah, and I admit that I kind of fell out with Stephen King at the time, but I've started rereading some of his stuff, and I'm like, this guy's a genius. This guy is doing everything right. And I love the comic work of Joe Hill. Joe is his son. And Tabitha King is a sensational author as well. It's like, it's to paraphrase a line from Arsenic and Old Lace, talent just doesn't run through his family. It practically gallops. Anyway, the cost quality speed triangle is a real challenge, says the Historical Fencing Guild. Yeah, it is. And the thing is, it could take, it could actually, if your quality is high, but your speed is down, you can make the cost go up. You've got to, but you better be damn talented. So anyway, I agree with you, Nick. I agree with you completely. Good observation. And right, Willis, says Carl Witzman, as I told Grant during a green room, if you want to be a professional, never do your work for free, even if you only charge $1. Free stuff is seen as less than worth it. Yeah, and also those people tell their friends. Now, I do say that when you are first starting, don't be afraid to work for the right people for free, because if you build your portfolio well enough, you'll get the people who will take notice. The quality of the work has got to come first. So, if you're an amazing artist and you happen to be fast, people notice this. And somebody will say, well, I want to secure your services. What if I give you money? And then more people give you money because they hear you're charging. So it kind of feeds itself. But just to build that portfolio, sometimes you have to do freebies, pro bono work. And in some fields, in college, they do make you, like the legal profession. And I found out massage therapists have to do like 30 hours of free work and get feedback for it, which I think is great. So anyway, and Jim Hayes, Jim, it is so good to see you, man. It was so much fun spending time with you this weekend and your son. It was good seeing you both, and I'm looking forward to next year already. Jim has a wonderful, wonderful set of books. Please put in links if you would, Jim. I would love to see that. I want to promote you here. But man, it's so good to see you. It's such a treat. And Michaela J said there is nothing wrong with demanding what you're worth. Exactly. And the thing is, folks like us, especially in writing, it means we can work on other things for us, and we know we'll pay ourselves. So anyway, Brian Rodman said, whenever anyone wants to compare a person who didn't receive the magic that Stephen King or Eastman and Laird did, right place, right time, to the regular average creator, I explain to them that the 1% don't have more talent than the rest of us. It just worked out for them in a special way. Most of the time it's chance. It doesn't have to do with being more or less talented. Well, yeah, but the talent sure helps. For every 50 shades of gray, there are Stephen Kings, there are J.K. Rowlings, there are people that have the special sauce, but I think a lot of it is right time, right place. And I think you and I have both benefited from that. Now, it's not that we are in the stratosphere or anything as far as a celebrity goes, but we are bigger fish now than when we started in the barrel than we were, and we've graduated to a larger size of barrel. So, and when you get around and when you can say that so and so who people have heard of knows who I am, I used to, I've done a number of interviews. I've, with comic book, the comic book hierarchy, and I've had, people, say, well, you hang around with Brian Rodman, Morris, what the hell's your secret? But it's one of those things, they say, well, so-and-so, so-and-so. I said, no, the trick is they know me. They're way up here, but they still say hello to me. That's, that's the sweet sauce there. And Comics Talk with Pasta Fan says, even if you are doing something for free, consider how much that person will tell their audiences that you did that work. You just have to weigh the benefits. Yeah, that's true. And I wouldn't do free work simply because it'll get your name out, or because it will, or that you're sucking up to somebody. I've heard of people, well, if I do this for free, they'll talk about me all the time. But it's just a good thing to do. And even after you are on the path to making it, it's still not a bad thing to do, because it's rising tide. And Cindy Kep says, since I don't have a spouse with a job to cover the bills, I figured out how much my writing crafting has to do it full time. I've got a ways to go, but I'm heading in the right direction. That's exactly when I was teaching myself how to write professionally, which I'm still doing. That is how a number of people would price out their work. I did some advertising work, and in fact, it was for somebody who knew I wrote, and I was doing a lot of articles at the time, and they hooked me up with an ad agency, and they said, can you do this? I'm like, I don't know nothing about ads. And everything I heard about this process was true, which is why I don't want to write advertising. But anyway, I figured out how much the time would take, how much I would have to make doing it to make a full week's worth of pay. No, since it was 2 weeks, if I were doing that only by myself, how much would I have to charge to replace the income I would lose during it would have taken 2 weeks. It was basically 2 work weeks to get this job done, because we had to do rewrites and stuff. Well, that's how I priced it out, and I was satisfied. And it turned out the ad agency thought I was inexpensive, but I think the fact that I was kind of a noob put them off. That I kept asking, "What does this mean? What does this mean?" The jargon of the field, which I wasn't familiar with. But that's okay. I don't have any regrets about not being in the business, and we'll keep rising your tide. Okay, says Carl Witzman. The tide. It depends on what the other person needs. Anyway, and Michaela Jane says, I hear you. I'm stuck in the middle of, do I quit my day job that pays well for my writing, which doesn't pay as well? Yeah, and then you have to wonder, can I get enough sales or even side gigs in writing to replace my income, and especially knowing that writing, so much of it is delayed gratification, where, as most jobs, I work for you today, I get paid in maybe a week and a half to 2 weeks. Writing, you could get paid 6 months down the road or not at all. It's the creative field is a huge crapshoot. There's a reason why a lot of banks don't give freelancers loans. The purpose is to raise your income to where you don't need a loan. Although inexplicably, my credit rating is incredible. My credit rating is like excellent right now. I don't know why. The only thing I use is my debit card in case, like I put the Imaginarium room on a credit card this weekend, which will pay off immediately. So Cookie's done a wonderful job with my credit score. Anyway, Christian Illusionist Jake Lindsay says, the show I did a couple days ago, the girls there gave me hugs lasting 45 seconds. It was epic. I'm glad. Dude, if you're timing the hugs, you're not getting the full benefit from them, but good for you anyway. Comic Talk with Pops Man saying, I dove into this 16 months ago with no idea what I was doing. That's kind of like where I am right now with me. People like Brian have been immeasurable help, even if they do not realize that I've learned a lot from this guy. Dude, I thought I was learning from you. You know, seriously, Pops, you hit the ground running. You seriously did. And if I've helped in any sort of way, then hey, man, I've just justified my entire existence on the platform here. But anyway, Pops, you know I love you, man. I seriously do. You are doing so much good for the creative community, and I flip my fez for you. And you're a great guy too. That is the important part, and I'm glad we are friends. I really am, Pops. And Christian Illusionist Jake Lindsay says, my teachers I had when I was 12 showed up with their family with my grandparents. They were teary-eyed. They were that proud of me. Oh, that's beautiful. And give Cookie a bear hug. I do every chance I get. In fact, we realized this weekend, because we were running around so much, we did not put in the minimal number of smoochies, and so that's why we got you got to see it a little bit before us. So yeah. And yeah, we got the rest of the day to make up for the loss of this weekend. But anyway, Skunk, my advice would be, says Pops Van Zandt, even if you do something for free, ask the recipient to not mention that little piece of info, or here, if I may, and it's my show so I can, make sure they promote you. Make sure they tell everyone that you did that. They don't have to say that, hey, he did this for free. And in fact, if they say, hey, he did this for me for free, that person gets cut off. But if they say, hey, Skunk just did this amazing video for me, contact him for your video needs. Then you figure out your price. All right. And if you're near Peoria, Illinois, oh, that's right. You're not going to be at Heroes for Kids. I have to keep forgetting. I keep wishing you were. Anyway, if you're near Peoria, Illinois this weekend, come see Amy Hale at Riders on the River at the Paradise Hotel. I'll have copies of my new book, Neuroses. Definitely check that out. Definitely check out Amy Hale. She is so much fun. And we are going to be, I know I was confusing it with BurgCon. BurgCon is on this year. BurgCon is on like Donkey Kong, and it's going to be September 4th, and I will be there with the axis of Rising Tide Evil, myself, Kathy Jackson, and Amy Hale, and joined by Rick Bradley this time, and we may have 3 other important broadcasting guests showing up as well. 2 illustrators and a reviewer, if you know what I'm. If you smell what the rock is cooking, it smells like coffee. Anyway, let's try and get this done today, folks. 3rd comment upcoming. I got a deal from Skunk would be the better term. That's right. And seriously, do some stuff for free, but say your price is, you've got to share it online. You've got to tell people where to find me. I would appreciate that. That would help me a lot. And woohoo, thunderstorms are here, which means I'm off duty. Congratulations, Michaela. And I think we're going to probably get them about 2 hours from now. So anyway, have a creative afternoon. And yay, Michaela, I agree. And sci-fi started great, then it got dumb, says Pops Van Zandt. Yeah, well, they lost their track. It was kind of like G4 was kind of like the pop culture successor to Tech TV back in the day. I love Tech TV. That was my default for the longest time, and for background noise. And then they became G4, and then it was all video games, which I can't relate to. But then they started getting some other stuff that I was really enjoying. I really got to love Attack of the Show once they brought Morgan Webb in. Morgan Webb she did the thing with Adam Sessler, and I can't remember the name of their show, but I love their video review show because they were always so fun and insightful. Oh gosh, she went on to become a really popular actress whose name I'm blanking out on. Anyway, I really liked Attack of the Show, and it really broke my heart when they broke up the band there. It really did. Scott Crocker says, it's not making my mind up. My mind is pretty much already made up. I would rather work on videos all day. The problem is the landlord doesn't accept hope and dreams as currency. Yeah, I haven't gotten the water company to keep the water on with my hopes and dreams either. I feel your pain. But the thing is, like we tell people when we go to conventions, even if you can just do it for 15 minutes a day and create amazing content, you'll get discovered. And Skunk, we'll promote you, man. We will. We could figure something out for you, man. And maybe lift you up out of this, okay? And I remember seeing the first video on MTV and Sci-Fi Channel when both started, says Carl Witzman, and I recall the French Revolution too. Yeah, Daniel Darkin and I, during our Daniel, who has given up Facebook, unfortunately, but he used to be a frequent caller to this show. He was asking me about, like in the 80s, what did you do? And I said, well, we were talking, we'd watch MTV, because I had made a joke about it was about social platforms and how fond I still was of MySpace. And Daniel's like, well, back in the 80s, what did you do for social platforms? And I'm like, well, we'd watch MTV a lot and admire the cave paintings and everything. So we kind of got off on tangents during that conversation. I did not see the first video of MTV. In fact, I didn't know MTV existed. But I remember our cable system, which was Seymour TV in Westville, Illinois, when I was living in Georgetown at the time, we had like this little TV, and it was back when you had the tuner, you could tune in the signal a little better. And Channel 7 on the TV was CNN. And I would be watching the news in the evening just to keep up on my world. And one night I got there and it was like the picture was really crappy. And so I started tuning and I started hearing music. And I'm like, well, what the hell is this? And I tuned over. And I think the first video I watched that day was it was I Want You to Want Me by Cheap Trick live at Budokan. And then they played like every other. Then the first couple months of MTV, they didn't have the rights to that many videos, and so a lot of them were just patched together things of nature, things sprouting, and people fighting with swords, and just all kinds of things. And it had like some peppy music behind it. Had nothing to do with what went on for the rest of the channel. And I remember for about the first 6 months, every other video was Working for the Weekend by Loverboy. I had that thing memorized after a while. Scott Garker continues, and although I got one of the best electric and internet companies in the world in my backyard, they don't accept hopes and dreams either. Why, those bastards. Kyle talks to Pop and saying, video killed the radio star. I remember exactly where I was that day. And one of the early ones was one of my favorite performers, Todd Rundgren, with Time Heals. Great song, and one of the first to use a lot of computer effects in it. Back in the days of the toasters, where you program the video to have all your video elements, and then it was called a toaster because it had to cook it for about 8 hours to make it happen. And so they are running another IP. Okay, sizes Pops Van Zandt. Yeah, but it's only on YouTube if we're talking about G4. Scott Garger says, if I could quit my job today and tomorrow work on videos and graphics full time, and I know for a fact the bills are going to get paid, then I can put food on the table, I would do it in a heartbeat. Well, that's why we've got to promote you, so that you can come home and it becomes your therapy. It becomes the thing that pulls out the poison from your system. Success will do that, Skunk. It really does. And then the thing is, as your income grows, once it steadily replaces your income, you use your daily paycheck to pay off any outstanding debts you have, such as like if you have a credit card balance, get rid of it. This will improve your credit rating too. And then work and build up a store of money that you can fall back on when things maybe, because we said this is cyclical. This is, where ebb and flow. When the months get a little slow, but you use the extra money and the success and keep yourself motivated with it, really. And Ninja Genko, I know who you are, and what's up, Pops? And Ninja, he is recognized and Facebook user. It was also seeing all and look forward to next year. It was so good seeing you too, Facebook user. It is Facebook messing with me again. But yeah, I had a great time at Imaginarium, and so good to see all my friends. And William Pace, greetings from YouTube. Good to see a creators outlet. Check that out. William Pace does some great interviews on there. And hope your day is well. Ninja, I hope yours is too, man. And no, Brian, and he mocks me, says the Skunk Cracker, still sci-fi. And Ollie, pronounced Ollie, was a show on MTV back in the day about sock puppets. Oh, that, okay. I was thinking something else. Not the store, but okay, I'm confused. But God, sci-fi. Anyway, my goal, says Christian Illusion and Shake Lindsay, in my illusion shop, I want to have crowds of 1,000 people per place, and I want my parents to retire and work for me while traveling all over the world. I got lots of stuff to get to that goal. There you go. But just keep working at it. Don't get discouraged. Come back here for some fire up in your life. And remember, everything is a process, all right? And there's always got to be another level you can reach. Don't limit yourself to 1,000. All right, you can do this thing, my man. And we've all got goals. Hashtag bring Cookie home and work towards it. Scott Cracker says it was an alternative humor show along the same lines of Beavis and Butthead on the Young Ones. I love the Young Ones. Or the Eric Andre show. You'd probably like it. It's weird and funny. I like all those you mentioned. Beavis and Butthead, I wasn't that big a fan of at first, but I got to dig them eventually. But I love the Young Ones. Oh my God. I saw that you mentioned Vivian Bastard the other day, and I'm like, oh my God, one more bonding thing for me and Skunk. I love that. And in fact, if you go back, folks, and watch the old episodes, you're going to see people like Emma Thompson on there, and Stephen Fry, and a whole bunch of people you're going to recognize that have gone on to bigger and better things. But it is a funny, outrageous show anyway. Skunk Crackers, where the dancing sock puck, but it's almost the end of the show clip on Stupid O'Clock comes from. Oh, okay. All right. Very cool. I love it's almost the end of the show. That's great. I meant to protect my art when I said put my Facebook page logo near them. Okay. Well, seriously, if you have any questions, Philip, on copyright and trademark, it is worth your money and your time to go consult a legal authority on it. And it's someone who is an expert in copyright and trademark law. They're worth the money. Christian Illusionist Jake Lindsay says, like, I honestly want to do ministry as far to Alaska or some point. That would be amazing. Don't limit yourself. That's the next goal. But always be looking upwards, man. You really do. And she was flaunting 10 points. What? Okay. And Brian Rodman, well, it's about that time, my friends. Thanks again for an amazing morning and start to this week. I'll see you all Monday night on Clever Title Pending. Tomorrow night on Clever Title Pending. Yes, that's right. Brian Rodman will be joining me tomorrow night on Clever Title Pending. We will have fun. There will be no second way about it. And Brian, I love you and Robyn. And you guys made the whole weekend worth it. And just everybody else who was there at Imaginarium, thank you so much. Much love, brother. You have a splendid day. And hope you got that nebulizer fixed, for the love of God. Hashtag bring Cookie home and hashtag laugh like the shadow.
Who knows what James Patterson is writing about me? Utter lies, for I am the shadow.
Anyway, working on it. Okay, good for you. You keep working on it. And let's see. We just had another comment up. Cool. And Cindy Kep says on CBS, I think y'all are doing a good job of balancing major and minor publishers. Thank you, Cindy. I appreciate that. And hopefully we've inspired you and we do get messages. We get a lot of people saying, I really got to check that book out. Thank you for recommending it. And Cindy, I'll actually, I shouldn't be the one doing it, since I had a hand in kind of in producing it. We got to review Animal Eye #1 when it's available. So, that's the trick. It's got to be available. So I think it'd be great. But thank you, Cindy. I appreciate that. And Brian, will you be at Superman Celebration this year? I will be there, but only as a civilian. I won't be setting up in Artist Alley or Writer's Way, but I will be hanging out there. So we will get to see each other. And maybe we can have dinner or something while we're down there. I think that would be amazing. And Jim says, I just subscribed to your newsletter, Brian K. Morris. I look forward to the most amazing information there has ever been. Well, it's a good thing you then signed up for that thing, young man. Seriously, we put a lot of work in. We do. It may not look like it, but we put a lot of work into it. We have a special video for the subscribers only. We have what we call secret links, where you click on them and you might learn something about how to do your creative stuff better, or you might wind up watching marble races, which I'm into, or you might wind up watching old TV shows or movies. I did something for a couple of months where you remember well, you won't remember it, but you've heard about it. The Panic broadcasts of 1938 with Orson Welles and the War of the Worlds. Well, a TV station in Buffalo, New York, where my wife Cookie is from, they decided to do a 30th anniversary celebration of it in 1968. And they employed many of the station people. One of the guys at the station rewrote it. They did their own version that did not it followed the book, not the radio broadcast, and it used local things, local landmarks and such. And they took a month and a half and told everybody. They put out press releases and notified the police and the military and all other media saying please be aware, this is not happening. Okay, we are just doing a dramatization and an honoring of the original, and people still lost their crap about it. In fact, at one point, since Buffalo is so close to the Canadian, they're like right over the river from Niagara Falls. They're within an hour of Niagara Falls. The Canadian Air Force were on alert, because people were calling in saying the Martians have just blasted the Freedom Bridge leading to Canada, and the aliens, Martians have landed in Buffalo, New York, and the police were notified, and and they were actually the cars were going out to that site to provide assistance. It was crazy. And then they did a revisit of it about 4 or 5 years later, and we included that video on the thing, and people did it again. It's like that, and there is I'm told it's apocrypha, but I heard that a Mexican radio station did the same thing back in the 60s or 70s, and the people, when they realized what happened, they went and burned the station down to the ground. But anyway, thank you, Jim. I appreciate that, and I hope you enjoy it, and let me know what you think. And Andre shook my arm. Seriously, his hand was as long as my arm, says Pops Fan said. That's amazing, dude. And heading home to read Amy's new book. I'm so excited. I started that book. It is a good one. It really is. Anyway, glad you're going home, Michaela, and we will talk to you soon, I hope. And enjoy your free time, Michaela, says Keisha A. Cup. I agree. You have a good time. Cindy Cap says, for my Jubilee glove, I got battery-operated LED Christmas lights that use an elastic wrist brace to hold the battery pack on my forearm under my sleeve. Then I ran the wire through my sleeve and the fingerless glove and looped the wired lights around my fingertips. Oh gosh, I'm going to get to QuadCon just so I can see that. That's genius. And Brian is hilarious. I'm assuming, sir, you're talking about Brian Rodman. It couldn't be me. And thanks, Brian. Super short link. Jim, JIMHAAS.art. Very cool. Very cool. You can promote that anytime you want, Jim. You are more than welcome to. And another great show, but I got a boogie for now. Later, I'll do the hustle. All right, do the hustle. Do. And now that you have that earworm for the rest of the day, I'll say Vaya con Dios, amigos. And I thank you, because I love that song. That's a great dance tune. And I'm thankful every day that I know most of you. And Keisha Acuff, we're grateful too that I know you in person now too, and I got hugs and everything, and you still talk to me. This is good. And Cindy is all fire, says Pops Van Sant. Isn't she though? And can you do me a favor, Brian? Do not die, feed Cookie. Well, I'll do what I can, Grant, but I can feed her, but I can't promise that other one because I keep talking. And Doris Jones, labors of love, morning all. Doris, mwah, good to see you. Hope you had a great weekend, hon. And emphasis on the word most, Keisha. Yeah.
And everyone here, have a wonderful Monday. See you soon. Grant Langer, good luck with that coloring, man. And like I said, if you need somebody to do your flatting for you, get in touch with my wife. She's pretty good at it, and she's getting faster at it, too. And she's, like me, she's cheap and easy. And comment, dump, engage. That's enough out of you, Jake. And Cup of Creation says, Grant, I only said that because there are still some of us I need to meet in person. And Zombies in Oz, asked Cindy Kemp, OMG, go to Eric S. Hawkins at Comixology and get the first issues of that. Issue 3 should be coming your way soon. He's got the books in hand and fulfillment is at hand. And I wasn't timing it. The girls themselves were timing it. They told me I want a really long hug, and it made me tear up. I was that happy. Well, Jake Lindsay, I'm glad you got those hugs. You deserve them, man. And Will Schuyler, my husband is a jack of all trades, woodworker, car restorer, handyman, and craftsman. People try to hire him to do various jobs, and if they lowball him, they don't want the job done right. Yeah. Oh, I've seen, and I've been, I've experienced, well, why do you want to charge for this? You love doing this. It's like, it has nothing to do with love. It has to do with my time. You can refill a lot of things in your life, but time is not among them. And I've got a lot of stories I want to tell. So every time I'm working on somebody else's story, that's a story of mine that isn't getting done. So, and the people that don't understand that don't need to be asking for that sort of thing. And if they're trying to, I'm the same way, Willow. If they try to lowball me, it's like, nope. What you going to do to make up for it then? And if anyone says I will give you exposure, tell them to go to hell. And I'll decide what kind of exposure I want. And if I do, Willow and Sarah will be there when it happens. But anyway, excited. Rick is joining us this year. It's come full circle, says Amy Hill. I totally agree. Because at the last BirdCon, which was back in 2019, a young man, a barefaced man, who was cosplaying Dad Body Thor, he came to this show in Southeast Illinois, in Harrisburg, Illinois, and he asked the right questions of Amy and Kathy and myself. And then 4 months later, he got his first piece of fiction placed in a book, The Nightmare Collective, and he's been going from triumph to triumph ever since. And he's had his challenges, and he still keeps creating, which is awesome. And this year, he is going to, if we have a panel, he will sit on the panel with us. In fact, I'll even get out of there just so he could be up there. So anyway, Pops Sanzan on Comics Talk says, bye all, don't die, feed Cookie. Thank you, Pops. Mwah. And also check out the great programming that Pops is going to have today on that YouTube channel, starting at 4 p.m. and then 6 p.m. again with Piper. It's going to be great. And Radiating Positive Vibes with Clyde Hall. Check it out. It's a great reason to be on Facebook. One of the few reasons to be on Facebook. It is a great page from Clyde Hall. And he does it every day. Gives you something to appreciate. And Olivia Munn, thank you, Olivia Munn. And after all the times I've spent staring at her, in admiration for her talent, you'd think I'd remember by now. But sometimes my mind doesn't hook up with the memory part that deals with names. Offline, I'm much better with it. Historical Fancy Guild, thank you for the lovely support. I know I have been quiet of late. I am basically a duck. No, you're a cryptid. Get it right. Anytime I look still or quiet, it means my feet are really going crazy beneath the surface. As long as they're being creative, brother, that's what matters. But we got to get you to Imaginarium. We really do. And have a good day. Time to feed Cookie. Thank you, Small Press Publisher Joe D. McPhee, 10 p.m. every Saturday night Eastern Time. Check out that great interview and review show from the desk of Small Press Publisher. You will love it. If you love comics, you will love Joe D. McPhee. I do. All kinds of cool stuff with Rinmelian, our darling Rinmelian, who didn't make it to Imaginarium. Her car broke down and she couldn't get up there, and we were going to have dinner together, but we will have that pleasure eventually and sooner than later, and all kinds of, but check out Rinmelian. She is amazing. You want to see creativity and on fire, that's her. Thank you, Cindy Kemp. And go to ckoepp.com and check out her work. Get it on Amazon and sign up for her newsletter. It is even more awesome than mine. And bye all. Carl, thank you for being here, brother. Glad to have you, and hope you had a great weekend. Look forward to talking to you later. And thank you again for filling in for me on Friday morning. You were awesome. You and Donna both. And 1980s, FidoNet was the place to be on your favorite dial-up bulletin board system. Oh yes, BBSs. I remember those. I remember we had one in Champaign, Illinois, and this one lady, lovely lady that lived just a few blocks from me,
she was so excited. She was a divorced lady, and she was looking for love, and apparently in all the wrong places, just like the song. And she had been going into this correspondence, and this guy was, at first he sounded nice, the old standard thing. He sounds nice, and now he's talking about sex stuff. And we were all listening to her budding romance, and we're all like, cut it off. This is not healthy. This cannot end well. And she goes, but he's educated. He told me he's graduated from that he's at Penn State. And somebody said, no, chances are he's probably in the state pen is what it is. Oh, daydreams. Anyway, Jim Hayes says, I used to dream of having cable when I was a kid. # in the country. Oh yeah. I've got friends who until fairly recently all they could get was dial-up internet. And they had to really carefully time when they could be on, because of course the neighbors would be on, that would drain the system. And downloading, you must be joking. Now things are better. Now things are better for them. I don't know if they've got like a HughesNet system or such, but he doesn't complain about it as much. So it's all good. Yeah, I remember, hearing about cable systems that when I was young, it was just the UHF and VHF. Now, does that date me or what? 2 through 13. Those are the ranges our local system broadcast on. And I heard about places like Champaign, the big city of Champaign, where they had like numbers that went up to like 50. They were even doing stuff on the VHF, UHF and VHF, and we were like, ooh, how much better does it get? And we built City Rock and Roll on HBO. Oh, there we go, the Ninja Gecko. Thank you. And the dot sweeps and mirror image sketching on the early MTV were fun. I kind of missed it once they went to actual musical videos. Yeah, exactly. I remember those. Those were really fun. And I love some of the old shows that they used to run on MTV, like The Young Ones or Beavis and Butthead or MTV Rocks or what was that one? The 120 minutes. 120 minutes was always fun. It really broadened my musical view because I didn't really have much exposure to really, really, really heavy metal. So that was good stuff. And then later, it's like the last time previously I tuned in, like I was up at 3 a.m. I turned on the TV and they had like a 2-hour block of videos on MTV, like at 2 or 3 in the morning. And then the last time I went at that time, it was still rerunning, like, all of their other reality show crap. And VH1 it became no better. Doris Jones Labors of Love says, I have a tad over 2 years left before my youngest kid is off on his own. After that, day job, bye. I'm either going to walk the earth or give my life away to the Peace Corps or some other organization. Well, we hope you stay creative, wherever your life journey takes you. And later, brother, later for you, the Ninja Gecko. Hope you have a great day. Thanks for showing up. And Skunk, why worry about setting up at a booth at a con to advertise you? Or what about setting up at a booth at a con to advertise you? Yeah. I see people doing that. They advertise, they don't have to have books or comics. They can advertise their podcast, for instance. And there are ways to monetize those things too, as you know. CityCap hoping that the printer gets Animal Eye to us sooner than later. Oh yeah. This is the hard part, I think, for a lot of us that have done crowdfunding. I think I had to wait like 3 weeks for my comics. And in my heart of heart, I kept hoping, well, here are my files. When can I have them back as printed comic books? And it turned out that I had done it during the season. See, they also work with Samuel French and Company, the play book, the people that do plays. They print plays for many theaters. And I had gotten our book printed, Spencer Spook, at a time when Samuel L. French was hogging the presses because a lot of community theaters were choosing next year's programming at that time. So, lesson learned. And I'll be hanging out at Superman Days on July 31st. I will be there running around. and I'm going to be there the whole weekend. So hopefully, Rick, we will see each other, sir. And I don't know, what would I sell? Yourself, dude. I'm a product every bit as Skyman or Santastein or Volcana. You're selling your product. You are that product. Get samples of what you do. Make up a price list. Jeffrey Woodring, for instance, has one. Plasma Fire Graphics has one. How many minutes of finished video do you want? I can do it for you. We will, and how many redos will you allow? Because I have seen people on Fiverr, for instance, and I'm not saying you should go to Fiverr at all, but a number of them have like, okay, we will do a video for you and you get 2 redos for this price. Or you get 1 redo, or you don't get any. We're pricing it cheap. You tell me exactly what you want, but what you get is what I make is what you get. So anyway, crap, says the Skunk Rocker. Brian, I told you I was 2.5 hours behind. I didn't even realize it was already noon. Don't die, be Cookie. I shut up now. Don't shut up. We love you. And actually, just Jim. Oh, Jim has art. Oh, I read that wrong. I apologize, Jim. So it's JIMHAS. Art. So you're gonna change your last name, Jim. Anyway, Kava Creations goes, has a wonderful day, rest of your day, everyone. Oh, Keisha, hope you're mending. Hope you're feeling great. And Keisha, can't wait to feel you when we see each other. I mean, hug you next time we see each other. And she's been warned about me, so it's all right. Anyway, Keisha, I love you, and I hope you have a great day. And I hope you have a great day. Everyone, says Amy Hale. I hope you have a great one too. Give my love to John. And if he has hiccups, let me know. And thanks for hosting in today's Adventures to Syndicate. Just about matched my cooking time. I'm almost done. And we're almost done, too. I'm glad we could time it. I'm glad we could finish at the same time. Syndicate. Have a great rest of your week, hun. We will be seeing you on the various shows. And also, please check out CKOEPP.com. I implore you. And check out that great newsletter. Check out that great website. Check out her great writing. Seriously, this lady is an awesome writer. And CKOEPP.com on Patreon as well. Drop this lady $1 or $2 a month. She gives you writing for it, and she's amazing. And Brian, at some point, we need to chat. We do. We have to set up a in-person thing, now that we're all out and about, sir. And Jim, says, so for some reason, Jim has art is expensive, stupid domains. I don't know, or Jim Hayes art is expensive, stupid domains. Do a search for Google domains. Trust me. I have my domains and they are not expensive. And I have them on auto renew, so I don't have to worry about remembering when the contract is over. So Google domains. That's my tip for you all today. And we'll have to chat soon, Brian. Need you on my show again. I need to be on your show. I need to be on the Pillow with Willow once again. Let's make that happen, Willow. Promise. I would love to be there again. I love talking to you, darling. And Rick Riley, everyone take care and stay creative. You too, Rick. Thank you, my man. Thank you for being here. Thank you, all my people, for being here. Like I said, thank you all. And thank you all for your encouragement this weekend during the Imaginarium. It was a fantastic time. And honestly, I hope to see a number of you there next year. Imaginarium is not just books, but Brian Rodman, Jim Hayes were selling comic books and graphic novels. There was a lady there selling essential oils. A couple people there selling jewelry. One person, the people, lovely people next to me, were doing like Harry Potter wands and stuff, and 3D printed dice, and also and of course John B. Pica, johnpica.com. Back at the Cereal Box, 9 a.m. Saturday mornings on YouTube, and New Comics Yum on Wednesday nights at 10. He was there promoting not just his new book, Nightrike, but also promoting his podcast, or actually his broadcast channel on YouTube. And it was so much fun hanging out with, John and Kathy and Matthew and Molly. Oh my God, how could I forget Molly Daniels? And Brian and Robyn and Jim. And all my peeps, all my people, meeting a few extra new ones who I'm absolutely adoring. Nightstand writer, I'm thinking of you. And just having a great time. And again, thank you to Stephen and Holly for putting up with me and making me feel like a superstar. It was a great time. We're going to try to come back again next year. It is great. It's a great time. We hope to see you there. And have a great day, peeps, says Willow Skylar. I'm around all week. If anyone wants to chat and hang out online, we could do that. Anyway, please check it out. Please check out Skylar's Pillow Talk, Willow's Pillow Talk, tomorrow night. And she will post the time. Check out her daily posting of stuff for the Hanging with Web Show Network and for us, and we're always grateful for that. We appreciate the sharing. We really do, and we want to steer people to them as well. And so let's start wrapping up the show so we can see what Cookie wants to eat. Anyway, or we could have, well, I don't know, maybe we could do this for another hour.
How dare you!
Okay, point taken. Anyway, so anyway, we want to thank some people for making the show possible. Chief among them is Plasma Fire Graphics. Plasma Fire Graphics, on look of your book matters to you. Whoever said you can't judge a book by its cover is full of crap. If you want people to actually buy your book, to pick it up and desire it, then you need to contact Jeffrey Hayes at Plasma Fire Graphics. He does incredible videos like the one you just saw. He put his own video together, and wasn't that awesome? He also does great book covers, such as Snow Ambition, the newest adventure of Abraham Snow, written by me. It's my newest book, available from Ben Books on Amazon for only 99 cents. But Jeffrey did that cover. He did a lot of those covers. Every image there was from a cover he has done. So please check it out. Go to plasmafiregraphics.com, Plasma Fire Graphics on Facebook, and have this person do very affordable work for you. All right? Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters, because it matters to your readers. So it should matter to you. And what matters to me also is a Rising Tide Broadcast Network. We've got your entertainment and your information 7 days a week. You won't need anyone else. Just come to us. Also, please check out their YouTube channels. Please give them a thumbs up and a subscription. And also, please like their Facebook offerings and subscribe to their broadcast pages. Anyway, we've got you covered 7 days a week. And starting tomorrow will be a huge packed day. There's TED Talks at 10 a.m., followed by Clever Tile Pending at 8. And my guest will be the one, the only, the delightful, the lovely Mr. Brian Rodman, who is every bit as luscious in person as you can imagine. You'll get to share some time with him tomorrow night. Please bring your questions. We love that. And we'll be back Wednesday morning with starting at 10 a.m. with another Nevermind the Furthermore. And Wednesday night, the premiere. Yes, the premiere of The Truthmongers with Ted Davies and Glenn B. Fleming. And don't forget the pre-show celebrations at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Please check us out. Thank you for your attention. And we got some more stuff coming up. I think you're going to be excited by it. Keisha, we got to talk. And thank you to our Patreon subscribers. Patreon is a monthly subscription service where for a modest amount of money, you can make a big difference in the life of a creator with direct contributions to keep them creative and keep them doing what they do. All these people on here have their own pages, so please check them out as well. But also, you want to check out our page at www.patreon.com/Brian K. Morris, because this isn't a one-way street. Even $1 will get you something. And we're going to work on our blog entry today. Every blog deserves a name. And last few days ago, we posted, we're more than halfway through posting our chapters for The Terrors, a new book that's going to be coming out later this year from Rising Tide Publications. So check us out on Patreon. We are grateful if you do. And don't forget, folks, we will be back Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central on the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. And we've got more comments. Holy cats, more comments. And here we go. More stuff. And Sarah, mwah! Glad to see you here. Hope you are having a great day, and I hope to talk to you soon, darling. Love you, beautiful. And is this a cult? No, we don't ask for money. I keep saying no. It's not a cult of personality. So anyway, here we go. And let's see. And we've got our our person, our troll back. This is so cool. This is awesome. And let's see. And there we go. We'll be blocking you later, so have fun. Anyway, folks, hope you have a great day, at least most of you. And have a fantastic day. Seriously, and do something creative, and also do something for somebody else. Make their lives a little better, and make your own better in the process. So we're going to scroll down to where we need to be. And as always, folks, we hope you have a super, super day. We'll see you tomorrow night on Clever Tile Pending. And as always, folks, the usual thing: stay smart, stay safe, wash your hands. Never apologize for being awesome. Have a super, super day, everyone. And we're going to get that off here so that, yep, we've confirmed we're a cult. They said so. And anyway, folks, have a fantastic day. And we'll see you Wednesday morning on Nevermind the Furthermore. Take care, everyone.
Thank you for watching Nevermind the Furthermore, a Rising Tide Broadcast Network production. If you enjoyed any part of this show, please give it a like or a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and consider becoming one of our Patreon supporters. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time on Nevermind the Furthermore.
Hi, I am Joe D. McPhee. I am the host of From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher. And I want to cordially invite you to watch our show Saturdays at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. On our show, we will have different guests as well as talk about the comic book industry and pop culture. And every so often, I might actually do a drawing session or a 3D rendering session every here and there. So once again, I want to invite you to watch From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher right here on the broadcast channel that you're looking at, whether it be Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Hope to see you there, and make certain that you catch From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thanks.
This is the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Subscribe to us wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Also catch us on the HWWS Web TV YouTube channel. Subscribe today and become part of the legend.
Now, every Sunday morning, longtime independent comics creator and Indie Volt podcaster Randy Zimmerman hosts a discussion on the lighter side of comics, the more whimsical and fun comics out there, on the Sunday Funnies. That's 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every Sunday on Indie Volt, indievolt.com, the Indie Volt YouTube channel, and the usual Indie Volt sites on Facebook. Listen in, won't you? Participate in the chat. Let's have some fun. See you there.
Author Cindy Kep is writing on the edge. Books include Remnant in the Stars, The Loudest Actions, Lines of Succession, Mindstorm. Condemned Courier, the Yerushalayim series, and Animal Eye. Find author Cindy Koepp at CKOEPP.com today.